he's gonna change his civ. Jerimuno going for Aztecs now, actually. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously
Um,
Aztec is really strong at the moment, isn't it? That actually, has it got changed? Has it been changed or not? The two Warhut age up for Aztec.
yeah, it's a pretty big change. I don't know if it's that if it's as good as people say. I think on this map I would definitely still favor France against Aztecs because of the livestock and the good treasures. Pretty good French map. I don't think the double Wahat age up makes it Aztec favored now. I don't think it matters all that much. We'll see though.
Yeah, and obviously I think Aztec sort of struggle against goons in age 3, don't they? If it gets to that point. But yeah, so it should be quite an interesting match if they do go for it. We don't really see it too often, especially on a map which is quite big. Manchuria is a relatively large map, and you do have it can spawn with TPs behind you, can't it? Manchuria, is that a different map? I've actually forgotten.
Yeah, it does matter a lot in this matchup, I guess. Because obviously, if you have a safe TP socket behind your town center, it's much nicer for France than having a TP in the middle of the map, which can be easily sieged down by a couple Pumas early on. So definitely something which will maybe uh, change the matchup a little bit. So we'll have to see which spawn we get.
And also crate start matters quite a lot, doesn't it? As Aztec doesn't tend to use the extra wood crate. Well, obviously France prefer it, don't they? Because they can get an early TP up and whatever. But
Yeah. Although on this map you get so many wood treasures, sometimes you could expect Aztecs to anyway grab like a trading post in H1 just because if you get like 90 wood or something, you basically can build a TP for free. So well, yeah, it can depend on the treasures and stuff. We'll have to see. We do have the wood start actually. Maybe you want to introduce the players?
yeah, so in the if my game would load, in the top of the map here we have Jerimuno. He is playing for MDS. He's in the color red. He has got a wood start as Aztec here. Not the best start for him. But in the bottom here we have Lecastete playing for CMC. Going to be shopping wood with those CDB. My UI is bugged somehow. I don't know how. I'll fix that in a second. But
Oh,
yeah, he's got a wood start. Does allow him to go and get that trading post down. I don't know how my UI is so bugged. Oh, it's because I put minimized UI
um,
on. No, I
I,
fixed
I
it. Don't worry.
it's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yeah.
put big
All right.
UI on by accident.
Um, what did I want to say? Yeah, the hunts are fair, I think. So we're good to go. Um, 3 hunts for each, kind of two or three hunts. Um, so yeah, Casted going directly for the trading post. Indeed, having the spawn we talked about, so that safe TP behind his base. Not that good of a first XP, so might not get his 3 CDBs very early. But the more relevant thing is that the trading post is going to be very safe for France. Like it's almost impossible for Aztecs to siege it early on. So very nice for Casted here. Also going to find that 90 wood treasure on top of the map, top left.
Yeah. And did find 55 coin as well, which is quite nice. Gets will allow him to get that hunting dogs ever so slightly quicker as answer. Also, he's picked up 6 yaks, which is quite nice. There is still 2 left, and by the looks of it, his native scouts going to pick up 7. Do you reckon it's worthwhile building a livestock pen on this map actually? Especially if he gets that 90 wood, it wouldn't be too hard to do in
Uh,
transition, and even spotting
Yeah,
85
it's
wood.
like 7 or 8 is kind of when you don't know if you want a livestock pet or not. It kind of depends on the matchup, and I would tend to say that maybe against Aztecs, you don't want to invest 200 extra wood into that building because you might be rushed and you might need the resources for units and stuff. But in some other matchups, maybe like against Ports or Dutch, maybe you might want to get the livestock pen because
Yeah,
like you can go 700 wood first, get the stagecoach and the pen. It's pretty nice. But against the stacks, obviously, you don't really want to go for that kind of play style. So I don't know. Um, we should talk about that casted herding. It's not the
yeah.
greatest, and these wheels blocking each other. The trees also blocking, so you can see this new wheel popping now. Has to walk all around. Not ideal herding for Castet, but
He
I
does have
guess he
enough
will
food.
still.
Yeah, he has enough food on the Monka pellet. It's not like he's going to run out of food and not be able to age, which would be
That
disastrous
would be
actually.
horrible. Yeah,
But
so he's gonna be okay. And also finding that last yak on top of the map, so he's gonna have 8 yaks. He can also eat one of them if he needs, but looks like he's not gonna need to even eat a yak and gonna age up just in time. Jerimuno also aging now.
Yep. Sort of to be expected. One thing to look at is Jerimuno's age up. He is going up with a shaman, which
Yeah, that's the double warhead, I
double warhead
believe.
one, is it? Yeah. Which does give you basically two. It's basically 500 wood, isn't it? Well, 500 wood equivalent,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's not as good
you
as
know
500 wood. But
it's hard to say because you don't have walking time, you don't have building time, so it's kind of like 600 wood worth of stuff. But then again, you don't necessarily need two warheads, especially on this bone. You get that, which surely Aztecs can get it if they fast
yeah,
age. It's maybe something to take into account. Like if you fast age and train a couple of Pumas, you can definitely get that Warhead wagon, and he would get his double Warhead anyway. So maybe that could have been something to take into account and just go for a fast stage and get that. Because now, in fact, it could be even the opposite. Maybe Gastet could get it himself with a
yeah.
few hustles or something. So.
Yeah, if he gets a batch of hussars out or something, he'll be able to, well, basically build a barracks out of it. It's 200 wood, but as you said, it's worth more than 200 wood, isn't it? Because it's no walking time, no building time or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
well, he can only build a stable, so a second stable would
oh
not
yeah,
be very
yeah,
useful for Kestet, but it could deny a third Wahad, because even just another Wahad that you can drop here would be nice for Aztecs, even if they don't need a third building to make units. It's just extra map control. So
yeah. They work like block
uh,
houses, don't they? So,
yeah,
but Castette is actually going to scout those Warhawk Trevor with that Crow Scout there. That's quite nice. Those are going straight forward. They're going to be quite aggressive, I think. Thankfully, the Explorer is there, so he's going to spot them again, see where they are. But those
yeah.
two Panther, the Panther and the Lion are going to sort of ward off the Castette's Explorer there, even if he does crack shot one. Actually, crack shotting the wrong one. The Lion as well. You didn't want to.
Well, the
But
Leon was already a bit low HP. Maybe that's why he decided to crack shot the other one. Well, not a big deal anyway.
yeah, it's not a
Um,
big deal.
Against slow age, to talk again about that livestock pen you mentioned, well, maybe he could have gone for a pen because Aztec is going for a slow age actually.
Yeah, is it your yaks end up fattening around 8 minutes, don't they? Or
Yeah,
something around that. And then if you've got 8 yaks, each one's worth 400. That's a decent amount of food, isn't it? It's like nearly
yeah, and
three
then
thousand six hundred.
you have 4K gold in your base, you have some hunts and 8 fat yaks. Aztecs is going for some sort of timing usually with double Wahat, but for sure, if you're defending in your base, you're not gonna die to the timing, right? Like if you
Yeah.
have infantry in your base and minutemen and stuff, and then you can just sit there and eat your fat yaks and go H3 probably with the extra food you get. So it could have been something to consider maybe. Meanwhile, Jerimuno is going for 7 and 600 wood, which is a build we've seen a lot with the double Wahat. It does make sense when you have two buildings to ship crates to fuel your mass. So he's going to get a stagecoach while also getting a nice batch of 7 coyotes.
Yeah, but does 7 coyotes beat 5 hussars? I don't actually know.
No, they definitely don't. Even
Unless,
10 coyotes don't. So
yeah. So really, I mean, he's being aggressive here, obviously, and that scout is going to scout everything. But if a cassette gets another batch of 5 hussars out, which I don't doubt he's able to do, these coyotes are going to be sort of, well, not pointless, but they're not going to be doing too well, especially before coyote combat comes in. Although 6 Puma
right.
Spearmen coming in is a bit of a
And
problem.
and we're back to that problem. Like, is this age up really 500 wood right now? I mean, he's got 7 coyotes out at 7 minutes from 2 wahats. Like, what's the point of even having double wahat right now?
Yeah.
All right, 700 gold though. Maybe 8 bows could have been nice, but he probably didn't expect that pressure. I think with Minutemen though, Castel is
Yeah.
totally okay here. He does need to call them. Maybe he's going around to pop a batch from the barracks, maybe
No,
trying to
none in
buy
queue.
time now. And Minutemen popping, um, they do not do extra damage anymore against Pumas, which is something we need to keep in mind, but they still do great, obviously, against Pikemen. So Jerimuno is probably going to have to pull back now.
Yeah, and 6 coyote runners, I'm not entirely sure about that shipment. I mean, if now Castette's got some musketeers in queue, he's got more hussars in queue. There's not a huge amount of pumas left. He's not even training pumas. He's just training more and more coyotes. And once Castette gets just a batch of 5 musketeers out, with the Minutemen fire and a TC fire, as well as another batch of Hussars, he can easily defend this. Yeah, but
Hussars getting stuck, but now gonna be okay. Yeah, Lecastete does need to train units. He's not remaking units from his barracks, and gonna pop CDBs to try and defend, but Musketeers popping on the wrong side. Kind of a clusterfuck. I don't really know who's winning that. Couple CDBs going down, but it might just be enough for... Oh, 3 Hussars popping. That's a massive pop. Only a couple Pumas left. Looks like Jerimuno is probably going to be able to escape, but his Explorer is going to go down probably. And behind that, Lecastete might be able to just age by eating his yaks and maybe getting 600 gold.
Tets, Hammock has, what is it called, 8 bone Q or maybe? But hopefully he doesn't, because then he doesn't really need it. I mean, this push, if you look how aggressive France, Aztec has been, obviously they do have a better XP curve than France because of the... he does have a stagecoach as well. I didn't realise that at the back.
Yeah,
but it is a weaker stagecoach, this map, I believe. It's not as good as normal. But
yeah, the smaller TP line is not ideal, but it's not a huge difference. But most importantly, well, Aztec is kind of all in on crates and unit shipments, and Lecastete could... I don't know what's the right choice now. I don't know. Maybe Lecastete needs to stay colonial a little bit longer, get the 8 bows and train more bows, and or maybe he needs to wage. So he's gonna try to wage, but there's a lot of units in his base, and he's lost another CDB, so he has to be careful. Jerimuno also did catch a couple Hussars on top of the map.
He's also going to kill this Explorer, which is quite big. That denies a lot of XP for Jerimuno. They did take it down a house, but really, because I don't really minds about that house going down. He's going to eat the yaks. These yaks do have 200 food each now. I think they're twice as fast as hunts. So Castete's going to go up to the next stage really, really quite easily here. And once you get in stuff like Falconets, or skirmishers even, or just dragoons, any of the units France has in the fortress age just do so well against Aztec.
Well, keep in mind there's still 9 maces shipment that Aztec could get, which could make it a little bit harder for Lecastete to age. Right now he's okay because he's got musketeers. There aren't really any maces, but now that there's 9 more maces coming in, I don't know if Lecastete can really defend that. He needs to hit and run quite well. He's still not aging, I guess. Oh, 3 Hussars popping, but Hussars getting cut by the pikemen, but Lecastete pulling them back nicely. This is all in all a pretty good fight for France, maybe.
Yeah, especially with the TC.
Oh, more Hussars.
More Hussars in there. This is almost certainly a good fight for France. Even pulling in those CDB. I think he's putting them in, just to do a bit more damage to those Pumas. Once those Pumas go down, those Mace are going to go down after them. Only 2 Pumas left. Those Husks can just fight the Pumas. It doesn't even matter at this point. And Castete's quite an astounding lead now. Really, equal population, maybe even slightly in favour of Jerry, but at this point it doesn't matter. The army is just huge. I mean,
he needs to age though. He can't push in double Wahads. He doesn't have the mass for it, surely, and he's pulling back just in time. He can fight this. Lecastete should just turn back and fight with his Hussars. Jaguars are not that strong against Cav. So that is an overreaction from Jerimuno. He should have been content to just scare Lecastete away without actually committing to fight it, because now Jerimuno has wasted a tremendous amount of units here, and for sure Lecastete is able to edge behind it. He's still got 7 yaks. He's also working on that hunt. Maybe needs to hurt a little bit more. Meanwhile, Jerimuno does have a stagecoach, but he still needs to ship his 5 bills. He's just got new units, and I don't think he can punish a French age up. Lecastete electing to stay age 2, actually, which might be the one way to lose this game. But we'll see what he can do.
In a way, is he not slightly forced to stay age 2, though? Because he's going to have to basically collect all the silver on this mine, the gold even, because he has already sent 700 and 600 gold there.
It's true. It's definitely not easy to age at this point, but I feel like he's got enough of a lead that he could still do it. But I guess pushing should work out as well. Jerimuno microing his Pumas nicely in cover mode, now fighting the Hussars, but there's just not enough of them, and it's going to be another good trade for Lecastete, unless some more Pumas pop. But looks like it's not going to happen.
There's only Coyotes in queue, and as we said earlier, no Coyote combat in. And these Hussars just do so well against them. He does need to take only War Huts. Thankfully, he does have a bit of siege on those Hussars and those Musketeers. A couple of Coyotes do come out again. They're probably going to go for a raid themselves. Yeah. But even then, I think CDB, they've got the Blunderbuss upgrade on them. They have 230
Yeah,
HP.
and he's got enough.
There's enough there they can just beat them up, and then the Hussars obviously come behind them. Might lose
Right.
one CDB, which is unfortunate, but yeah, he's just going to run away.
And it also means that when you see your opponent popping units like that and just going to raid you, you know you're safe to just keep sieging, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he just popped a few coyotes and ran away with them. So you know he has no intention to keep fighting and defend his front base. So actually, Jerimuno popping pikes into musketeers, which is questionable to say the least, and gonna waste another 500 resources here. So yeah, it's just
Jerry
GG.
resigning, yeah. And yeah, well played by Lecastete, but ultimately I think that well played for Kiwi, he won, didn't he? But yeah, I think Jerimuno just was slightly too all in there, and well, it's so much easier to defend, isn't it? The defender's advantage is on Lecastete there, and you can just see how efficient his Minutemen are. I don't think we really talked about it, but 4 Minutemen were alive basically the whole game when they were popped so early, and it's basically like having 4 musketeers which have 1 HP. You might as, if they don't die, they're the same as having full HP musketeers there, which is
I think just pretty good unit control overall. If you look at the military graph, you can see the main fight where Jerimuno lost everything is actually an insane trade for Castet. And I think this matchup is just pretty good for France here. I mean, you can't really push because of the CDBs. You could see in that fight all the CDBs popping how good of a trade it was for Castet. So you can't really push in as a stacks, but you can't really let France age up either. And France also has all these yaks, so they never really run out of food, at least not until a very long time. And yeah, just well played by Castet, but also, in my opinion, not an easy matchup for Aztecs, to be fair. So,
yeah,
but yeah, pretty good game.
pretty good game, and we'll get right into our next one. I don't know what the map is for the next one, but it is, I believe, Jerimuno to pick, right?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna trust you.
I can look it up actually. I'll look it up right now. Just to make it fair, because I could be biased.
I should know who
Yeah,
picks.
you're playing. Nick, you should know.
It's the same for me, but I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. CMC to pick first.
Oh, right.
I have no clue what the map is. Hopefully they know what it is. But it's the same map pool as yours, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I also don't know, but I can. It should be on the front page of ESOC or something.
Yeah, it's somewhere on ESOC.
Iowa. All right.
Yeah, Iowa's quite an interesting map. I think it's 3 TP, isn't it? And then plus 4 Nat TPs. Both of the Nat TPs being really, really strong. 2 of the best units. So maybe we'll see. Ottoman's quite strong on this map, isn't it? And I think Spain is also really strong on this map, and Civs like to ATP are just strong as a whole. But we'll have to wait and see what Lecastete plays.
Yeah, these TPs are really good. The TP line is long, and usually the longer the TP line, the more efficient the trading post. And they also happen to give exactly 100 resources, which is just really nice for your macro. Obviously, if you get like 67 wood every time, you're gonna have some leftover wood. While if you just get 100 wood, you can macro perfectly and get your houses from it, something like that. So it's a very nice TP line. Also, the first XP on the TP line is really good. Well, you get 100 XP, so you can get your reveals really early. So a civ like Otto definitely is an interesting pick on this map. But I don't know that Castedry plays any Ottomans here.
And Ottoman as a first pick is quite easy to counter, isn't it? You can pick Sil or something like that. So I'm not entirely sure it's the best pick first. Lecastete does have a decent map in a civ pool even. He plays a lot of civs. I know he's very fond of Germany. You can play, I think, Russia. You can play, I know, quite a lot of civs, as I said. But Jerimuno himself has quite a deep civ pool. So, but there's Lecastete picking Germany.
Yeah, and it's kind of a comfort pick for Castet. I mean, Germany is by no means bad on this map, but I wouldn't say it's one of the top picks. But you do have 2 gold mines in base. I mean, two coin mines in base, and well, obviously the map has trading posts, so it can't be too bad of a map for Germany. And it's one of Castet's main civs, so I guess it makes sense that he's going for Germany.
Yeah, and I mean, Germany is just strong on a TP map as a whole, isn't it? Even if this one isn't the best for it, but it's a decent map for Germany. Again, you do have those Nat TP posts, which people seem to neglect. But you do have the was it dog soldiers in one of them, which is just insane.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a Sue dog soldier big button for every civ if you get that in that TP post. So
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but yeah, it's sort of the same stuff. It's they don't have the same stats, I think, but
yeah, they don't have
it's
the
kind of it,
multiplier, right?
yeah.
They don't have the infantry multiplier, but they're more like
Yeah, they have more HP, I think, and range resist, but no multiplayer against infantry, and also something is that that's too big button. You know, when you ship it, usually you get like cav combat on it and cav HP even sometimes, and you might not have these cards in when you're not Sue and when your cards don't affect anything else than your own cav. You know, like Germany doesn't have a card that improves Dog Soldiers except cav attack, but you don't really ship that because
you don't get
you don't get
Ulans.
Ulans with
Yeah.
it. So. But yeah, it's definitely something interesting. Also, the Inca in the middle or late game can be important. They give extra speed to your units. They give extra training speed as well, and even a better amalgamation, a cheaper amalgamation
Yeah,
upgrade.
20% on mines, right? For I think 75 coin, 75 wood or something like that.
175 food, 175
Oh,
gold, I
okay,
think.
it's more than that, but it is still cheaper than amalgamation. Amalgamation
Yeah,
being 200 wood, 200 food, right?
yeah, that's it. So it's more expensive for sure. Um,
But um, but yeah, by the looks of it, Jerry just switched to Sue, but then switched to okay,
to
he's
Euro and then to Japan.
Japan,
And it looks
yeah.
like it's gonna be Japan. Yeah, well,
And this is an interesting pick because Jerry obviously does play Japan, as he's picked it. But I know Castet sometimes struggles as a Japan, right? He has sort of the same problem as maybe yourself, where Japan versus Germany especially is quite a hard matchup, isn't it?
yeah, it's not. It's in my opinion not a very good matchup. It's not bad, but you have to play very well. I think it's Germany, especially if you end up having war wagons and you need to hit and run all these ashy naggies and clubs and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of a tough matchup to play. Not necessarily too bad, but kind of annoying to play. And yeah, it's true. I used to have some issues against Japan. I think I'm fine now against Japan, but Castet is maybe a bit like I used to be a year ago or two, and definitely gonna struggle against Japan. So we'll have to see. And I think Jerimuno's main save is Japan actually, so could be a
Yeah,
tough matchup for Castet here.
both players main civs really, and but it is a wood start. Obviously both players I think in this matchup in particular want a wood
Uh,
start, right?
no,
Not wood
it's
start.
not.
It's a
It's
food
a
start. Sorry,
food
it's a
start.
food
Yeah.
start. But both players want a wood start. So maybe that benefits probably Japan slightly more.
Yeah,
Obviously, you can't get the
it
consulate
benefits
down.
Japan because Japan has less eco, so 100 more food towards the edge up is actually more impactful. And also because Germany anyway kind of wants to go for a market and the start, but without the extra resources, it's a bit harder. While Japan doesn't mind. I mean, he's just going to build a shrine and age anyway, so it's okay to not get gold or wood or anything. Well, while Germany might age a little bit later because of not getting the extra resources. Then again, Germany did get a nice start because actually he's got 50 gold, which is exactly what he needs for hunting dogs, and 40 XP, which is quite underrated for Germany. I mean, it's 40 XP, and you have a 4 villager shipment with hunting dogs, so you actually get a lot of resources from getting
Yeah.
them earlier.
And you can see the XP curve actually.
Yeah.
Germany obviously is slightly slower, but at this point, both players need roughly, I think, 90 experience. Yeah, roughly 90 experience to get that XP in. So that 40 XP is sort of put them in level playing field for the first shipment at least against
Yeah.
Japan. But if we look at Jerry's deck, it's quite interesting. He does have flooded. Paracel in deck, which is a weird card because that's normally a treaty card. But yeah, 300 wood in there, which no 2 vills. Does have Cami as well. But if he does send 300 wood, which is what I think he's probably going to do, because you don't normally send Cami on a non-Portuguese consulate start. It doesn't really make too much sense.
Well, I mean, you could. It kind of depends on his plan, I guess. But knowing Jerimuno, I think he's gonna be going for 300 wood. He's usually more of an aggressive Japan player than a greedy one.
Yeah.
He picked up a Vil, which is quite big.
Although
But then
that,
again, Castet also got a food treasure, so Castet is going to be able to age probably without any idle time with the market on a food start. So it's pretty good start for Castet. Maybe not as good as getting +1 Vil, of course, but still.
yeah, but the thing about the that settler, which obviously is quite far away from the base of Japan.
Yeah.
He's only now really becoming useful after 25 seconds or 20 seconds of being picked up, and so maybe 90 food in the short run is better. And that's really what the settler does. It allows you to age up faster. 70 food even now coming in for Japan, so that's probably a level playing field of how quickly they're going to age up. Obviously, Japan is slightly quicker. They tend to be slightly quicker than Germany, especially if they've got those food treasures. And if Germany's gone for that market, they are somewhat slower when they're aging up. But Lecastete is aging up with 17 Vils, which is what you want.
No idle time at all, which is it makes a big difference, honestly. Like if you go for a market like Castet did and you don't get treasures, you might have to age up with 18 Vils or idle quite a bit. So it makes a big difference now to just have that nice idle-less age up while having hunting dogs. Japan, interestingly enough, picking up a trading post. I've never been a fan of that I'm going to ship 300 wood. I'm going to use a shipment to build a TP to get more shipments. It doesn't seem to pay off all
Yeah.
that much, but we'll see how it goes.
It could have been sort of 3 shrines, couldn't it? Or, well, 2.5 shrines, which would have
Yeah, 2.5.
benefited probably better for Japan. Especially the thing is, if he's not aggressive with that trading post, well, I think he probably is going to be, but if he wasn't aggressive, Germany would just rip it down relatively quickly, and I don't think it would really pay off too much. Especially seeing as Japan shipments tend to be slightly weaker. Obviously, they do send them twice, but that's, the caveat of that is the shipments themselves are weaker. But yeah, Jerry is going up the Toshogu Shrine, which is to be expected. But a consulate coming down here, sort of, well, it's not forward, but it's in front of his base. And I think the telling thing, which will be, what will tell us most, is what he goes for in that consulate.
Yeah, and that consulate placement is pretty good. It's protecting his gold mine, and consulate has a lot of HP, so it's not a building you're going to lose very easily. So I like it forward like that. Castet is scouting that consulate. I think we can expect it to be set to Japanese because you don't really want to go for the Portuguese consulate later. It's kind of a consulate you want to have if you're going to shrine boom, but it doesn't make too much sense to get it at this point, especially as you can't get the boats anyway from the consulate, as this is not a water map.
Forward barracks as well coming in.
Forward barracks, that's really...
Yeah, it is really good. It is Japan. Imagine if 2 Uhlans came out here and you just picked up two settlers. That would be...
Well, imagine if Castet just went for a tower rush. Well, I guess Jerimuno doesn't know about... he knows it's not a tower rush because of the trading post, but it's still, you're playing against a Civ that can ship 8 bows and 2 Uhlans that can get a pretty big mass of units early on, and the forward barracks without even shipping 5 ashes is kind of risky.
I think Castette's going to see this. If he's looking, if he's looking at those Uhlans, he would have seen that barracks. Probably would have worked out that there's a couple of villagers there next to it. But
I think he has seen it, but he didn't try to go for the Vils. But he spotted the barracks, which is big, and he's gonna kill a Vil now. It's not gonna kill a Vil.
Yeah, the Shinobi taking down one of those Ulan just basically right at the right time, which ended up sort of negating that. But yeah, one of those Vils is now 1 HP or something ridiculous. 2 HP, only just surviving. But 5 bows do come out for Lecastete there.
4 ashes going forward.
Which is just going to get picked off by 5 bows. Bows are actually pretty good now. They used to be fucking dreadful, but now they have no inaccuracy. They tend to be decent units, and they're going to take some of those ashes.
Luckily for Jerimuno, there's no Uhlans right now to snare, but these ashes could have all died, and the Shinobis as well, actually. Yeah, 2 more Uhlans popping. Castet needs to bring them. He's kind of focusing on microing his bows, but these Uhlans could have maybe cleaned up, actually. Still pretty good picks for Castet here. Jerimuno is still sort of getting away with having that forward barracks without even going aggressive. Jerimuno does get that extra map control, which is always nice. I mean, why not? Like, if you have a forward barracks, and even if you're not being aggressive, as long as you have map control and it doesn't get punished, it's good for you. However, Lecastete is pushing now. I wonder if he's got 8 bows on the way and maybe a batch of bikes or something, because he might want some insurance and not just push without any anti-cav.
I mean, yeah, but the likelihood of Japan going cav actually at this point is quite high, seeing as he's now sent to 600 coin. But I think that's just going to signal an age up by the looks at his micro. But again, he's going to lose that forward barracks if Lecastete sort of understands what he's going to do. Those 2 vills, I think, are almost certainly going to go down now, unless there's going to be some units popping from that barracks, which there isn't. A couple of pikes are in queue for Lecastete. Although I think he's being way too timid with his crossbow. He's going to let Jerimuno age here, basically, and that's just not going to spell. It's not going to spell anything good for him at all. And really, these 2 vills should be dead as well as that barracks.
Oh, but maybe he's gonna see the wonder maybe with his Ulans. Oh, 1 vill not gonna go down. Yeah, he definitely sees the wonder now. So Lecastete knows about it, and yeah, now he's gonna instantly just push, which is a very good reaction here. I can understand that Lecastete was a little bit timid because you know, just 10 Nagis or whatever, even 5 Nagis in the daimyo, and you could lose your entire army and just lose the game. But now that Jerimuno knows, now that Lecastete knows Jerimuno is aging, he feels comfortable just pushing out and getting that barracks down. Maybe the vills are gonna die. Surely the barracks will go down. So yeah, that barracks is not gonna pay off for Jerimuno. He might as well have not gone for forward barracks, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't think those vills are going to go down simply because there are a couple of ashes there which are going to protect them. But again, the Ulans are doing what they need to do, snaring the ashes, and a couple of pikemen do come up from the town centre. But again, he's just going to lose so many units here, and even then he's fighting here when he shouldn't be. A couple of ashes do come out which are going to kill the pikes, or at least do some damage.
He's gonna pull back a few crossbows, which is a good. He could even send a couple bikes to snare the ashes, make sure they don't escape. He's gonna just. The daimyo, yeah. So he needs to deal with the daimyo now. But the barracks is gonna go down. I don't think Japan is gonna have the units to contest that, and behind Lecastete is up as well. So
Lecastete destroys his barracks, and really he wants to run away. Just in case 5 Nagis that get shipped or whatever. But there's a stable going down for Jerimuno and the second barracks in base. But that's just going to delay his push so much. Imagine if he had a barracks in base, did sort of the same build. He would have gotten didn't even kill a villager, so he didn't really have to be aggressive. 8 ashes now being shipped. But again, I think 8 ashes is a bit of a mistake because he hasn't got any pressure really coming on here, and there's going to be loads of war wagons coming out for Lecastete in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, even these crossbows are totally enough to defend these ashes. It's true, it's kind of a questionable first shipment maybe. 8 skirms as well, and Lecastete still has a couple of bikes which are going to be able to siege down the shrines, and as Japan does not have the Kami card or even Portuguese consulate, these shrines are pretty expensive to replace.
Yeah, why is he coming forward with 8 Ashigo here? I mean, war wagons coming in, they're going to take out the daimyo.
War wagon's going to take down the daimyo. Oh, that's a massive mistake by Jerimuno here.
And these ashes, they might get a couple of villager kills, but I mean, if there's a couple of Ulan somewhere around the map, which can stand, these Ulan are in the wrong place, they need to be in the base, but yeah, a couple of villagers do go down, 3 villagers, but again, just so many ashes and the daimyo, I think that's a good trade for Lecastete, even though he's lost a number of vills.
It's a great trade. It's a great trade because the daimyo is down, so many ashes going down, and now who cares about these 3 vills? I mean, Lecastete is just going to outmass so much. Next, he gets another shipment. He still has a trading post up. That actually Jerimuno might have wanted to maybe open clubs and get that TP down because that TP is still up for Lecastete. And when he gets 3 war wagons next and another batch of units from his 2 buildings, he's gonna outmass so much. For the time being, he's just gonna siege down the shrines, probably waiting for that shipment indeed. Doesn't want to overcome it with only 4 war wagons as all his anti-cav. And then when he gets the next shipment, Lecastete is gonna push out, I believe, and it's gonna be tough for Jerimuno to hold that pressure. Look at this, 3 war wagons popping. We expect more units popping soon, and
Jerry actually popped as Japan on 70, well, not even 70 shrines, he's only got 5 shrines, which is pathetic, and he's even going to lose another one here. And again,
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't got enough wood to even build any more shrines, which just, well, basically ruin his ability to even produce units, which is what he needs here. He does have some Nagis in queue, but he needs more and more shrines, even being forced to buy some, I believe. So it's not looking good for Jerimuno. And at this point, I think Japan. I mean, there's so many war wagons on the field now. A Nagi switch, especially seeing as Discipline Nagi only just coming in, they don't have that HP upgrade. And war wagons, I mean, they do well against Ashes anyway, don't they? If you can kite correctly, and Cassette has a pretty good micro as a player. So
Yeah. Jerimuno going for a counter push, actually. He feels like he doesn't have the ability to retake a fight. So he's going for that raid, and that's the annoying thing about Japan. They don't need to have vills out on the map, but you do. So these spikes are going to buy a little bit of time, but not enough for sure. And Cassette might have to pull back, but he's going for the base trade, which is also an option. Maybe Cassette can just call Minutemen and try to not lose too many vills, but this is not looking good for Cassette now. Losing so many vills, he really has to use his army now and make sure he can totally kill Japan, because he's going to be so far behind in eco now.
yeah, I think he kills a lot. He kills a lot of vills here, almost certainly. I mean, a couple of those villagers do go down when they were escaping. He is only on 24 vills himself. But we take out shrines. Jerimuno's not too great himself. But again, I mean, he's now going to have to be pumping in these Ulans. Cav combat did come in. Probably would have been better to have a cavalry shipment or 9 Ulan or something. But if these villagers are coming out, he needs to be able to get this town centre down. 26 vills in there, that's the importance. And really, it's going to be how much damage he can do before Jerimuno's army comes back and sort of defends him. But again, these eight Ashigaros are just going to die, which is...
Oh, but the Ulan's just not in the right position, but Jerimuno not fighting, so gonna be fine for Cassette. All the vills popping out, yeah, and that's probably just what Cassette needs. Yumi's popping, Cassette afraid of the flank. He needs to send his Ulans on the Yumis, and a couple war wagons out of position. This is a very messy unit control from boss players, I think. Ulan's going on top of the Yumis. Cassette a bit shy maybe with his skirms. He needs to fight with his infantry.
Yeah, Minutemen now coming out. He needs to be able to get... Once those Nagis are down, though, there's not a huge amount which contests these, or crossbow and skirmishers. Yumis are quite good, obviously, against them, but they do have less range where the bow is not in. And those Nagis are down. If we look at units in queue, no Nagis in queue for either, for Jerimuno. A couple more Yumis are in queue. But to be honest, I think this is fine for Cassette, this fight. But again, he's so far behind on eco now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just enough for Jerimuno to stay in the game. He could have died there with a little bit better unit control from Cassette. I think Jerimuno should have been toast, but now actually I think he's won. And also 9 Ulans and veterancy could have been just what Cassette needed to clean up that fight convincingly enough. Because once Cassette would kill these units, the TC would go down and it's just GG. But now Cassette has to pull back, try to hit and run. He's doing a decent job of hit and running, but you know, he's just quite far behind in eco. He does have CAF combat, but basically no units, so it's not very good for Cassette. And these war wagons are just being war wagons and doing some weird shit right now and dying.
So... I'm getting divine striked by the fucking Japanese explorer, but it's not looking good for Cassette. He does still have 9 Ulan and does still have Jaegers he can show. Which do well. Another divine strike killing across where that mechanic is broken. But Hessian Jaegers, this is strong.
Jaegers. So he had the resources for that, but
And if he can get a batch of sort of 5 war wagons out, plus they actually are cav combated war wagons, so they're really strong. He might not be in an awful spot. The TC there is still half HP, but I don't think that matters too much. A couple of Concha do come out from that. What is it called? Consulate. But again, these Nagis, they don't have HP upgrades on them. Doesn't have the Golden Pavilion either, which is something to know. It hasn't even retrained a Daimyo. And a couple of these Nagis are going to go down. Does see the Jaegers though, which is quite important.
1 free kill, so that's you take everything you can get now as Germany. I mean, your eco is so bad, you really need to get really good trades. Germany can't afford a bad trade. The extra batch of war wagon joining the fight is going to be massive here. It's going to help Cassette kill these Nagis. Good splits by Cassette as well. But these war wagons going down so quickly to the Yumis. Jaeger's alive, but Yumis are quite scary themselves, and maybe we can see 9 Ulans and veterancy from Lecastete. That could be a game-winning move here.
Yeah, there's no anti-cav here, is there, actually, at all? Imagine if
No.
909 comes in. This is an incredibly important fight, probably the game-deciding fight here because of a coin mine. And
Yeah, Lecastete wants to keep gathering. He can't pull back his bills now. He really needs to keep gathering gold, get more units out. Even if he has to lose 1 or 2 bills, it's fine as long as he can get the military advantage.
actually, Lecastete keeping alive 11 Jaegers there, which is really nice. Going to get the XP from that. Did that just Divine Strike a Jaeger? No, it didn't. Thank God. But 9 Ulans now coming in. Veterancy is on them. Oh no, Veterancy isn't on them, so he needs veterancy before he really does anything. But Cav Combat does effectively count as veterancy, but there's veterancy coming in, and he needs to push it. Again, he is building back up his eco. Once you discount shrines, they're about equal. But again, I mean, Japan's just going to have the better eco here after a while. And Germany's units are strong with a Cav combat there, but Ulans are still paper as well, really. But
yeah, and Japanese units are definitely better. But if you look at the military gap, it's actually kind of huge. I guess Lecastete did take pretty good trades at this coin mine here because he's quite far ahead, and even some useless clubs here not going to help in the fight. And I think there's so many Ulans and not a lot of ashes, and this could be a quite big cleanup unless Jerimuno gets a great batch out. Nagi's popping, which is not exactly what he needs now. Nagi's gonna die to Cav Combat Ulans, and everything is just gonna die. And in fact, I think Lecastete has done it. Look at this TC, was not repaired either, so it's gonna go down very quickly.
And one thing to note as well is those Jaegers do have more range than the Yumis, so even if he does get a load of Yumis out, 2 villagers now even going down, Lecastete not being that far behind an eco. Lecastete just sees the TC and I think he wins. I mean, that TC going down, look how many villagers are over on the right here as well. If you get like a cheeky raid with some Ulans or something, a couple of Nagis do come out.
Big mistake from Jerimuno now, just wasting a shipment when he really needed to escape these Nagis, or I don't know how but you can't just ship 5 Nagis here because it's just a waste of units, and Japan can't afford. What is going on?
Yeah, Castete's just going to rape this, isn't he? He's just going to demolish all these villagers, and this is over for Jerry. Unfortunately, Jerry, I mean, because of that raid, he was still in the game, but I think because of just how efficient Castete's been here, with his unit shipments, with his just micro as a whole, he's just going to dominate. I mean, Japan behind on eco now. If you discount shrines, is only on 20 villagers. There's going to be 10 more villagers going down. There's no way Jerimuno gets back into this.
Japan has never shipped the orchards.
Yeah, he was forced to go on a rice paddy, but he's out.
He never.
8 Ulans even
I'm
coming
kind
in
of
now.
confused about why he never shipped the cherry orchards. I mean, yeah, so it's just GG. Wow, that was a pretty good game. I mean, it was looking real bad for Lecastete at some point, but then he got some really good trades. I think we can see it in the military graph, maybe.
Yeah, because I think Lecastete just traded so well. First fight he did trade pretty badly.
Yeah.
But that second fight you can see at sort of a 16-minute mark. He basically lost no units, and from that he sort of there was no anti-cav there at all. So I mean, if 9 Ulans even came in at all, it would have cleaned up, and 9 Ulans did, and it just that fight at the end was so one-sided. It was pretty ridiculous.
I also don't know why Jerimuno was even pushing out when he could have been indeed shipping the cherry orchard and sitting in base. He decided to push that forward coin mine there, and he took a pretty bad trade. But when you think about it, I mean, you're Japan, you killed like 15 vills, so Germany has no eco. Germany potentially has more units than you because it's Germany, so you might as well just kill the vills and then sit in your base forever and just outboom and outskate, and you don't have to be aggressive like that. So maybe a bit of a misplay here from Jerimuno. I think he was in a winning position at some point and then just kind of threw it away. After Lecastete threw himself, so kind of a double throw from players, and Lecastete ending up winning the game anyway.
I don't feel like it was even a throw for Lecastete. I think he was just really unlucky with the massive raid on the right. That sort of it just shows how good Japan is in some regards. Because
the throw wasn't a raid, in my opinion. That was kind of like, you can't do so much about it, honestly, but. he needed to do something when he was counter pushing. You know, he
Yeah.
was kind of hesitating. He had Ulans and there were Yumis without any anti-cav, and he just didn't attack them with his Ulans. And cav combat was also a bit of a throw. My point is that veterancy and 9 Ulans and just taking the proper fight with the proper unit control, and Casted could have won directly regardless of the raid, I think. But then it was looking pretty bad because he just kind of took a bad trade and lost his bills, and it seemed pretty hopeless for Germany. But then he won. So
Yeah. But 2-0 to Lecastete. And sort of taking out maybe Jerry's best Civ there. Obviously, there is a Civ reset after the next game. But on this game, neither player can play any of the Civs they've already played. Bearing Strait, again, actually a really good map for Japan, so maybe Jerry should have kept it for that. But I don't know if it's been fixed yet with all the wood treasures. There is a lot on them.
yeah, it has been fixed. I asked Vividly Plain to remove some treasures. Basically, there were too many treasures on the map. If you look at the minimap right now, you can see how clustered it is with treasures. And in fact, now on the map, you got a few less treasures spawning. So it shouldn't be too imbalanced now. And
Yeah.
it's, anyway, up to Jerimuno to pick first, I think, now.
Yeah, I think before there was like 7 or 8 ridiculous treasures which ended up spawning next to each other, which was insane. But Jerry is going to pick first, which does give the advantage to Lecastete, obviously, who is 2-0 up at the moment. But while we're waiting, we might as well talk about what games we do have later on today. We do have your game, right, against Maito, which should be quite good to watch. That's directly after this, right? Directly after this, which should be one of the best games of the week, surely. Actually, there's a lot of games for CMC this week, isn't there? Or today in particular. There's Bwinner versus someone. I've forgotten who. Should be Bwinner versus Minimount. Obviously, Bwinner had a great streak recently, but maybe he'll be able to pull it forward or whatever. You do have Sompu versus For Justice at 9:30. Which I won't be casting. It's way too late for me. But we do have Bwinner versus Minimount at 8 o'clock, which is casted by Will and Interjection and Penzimbo, whatever his name is. And Optimus Prime versus King of Osmane, which is after your game, directly after, which is again casted by Interjection. And finally, TLS versus Nushabar, which is unfortunately at the same time as your game. I don't really know why who let it be scheduled like that, but that is on ESOC 2 with Housing Casting, which should be a pretty insane game as a whole. But that's for later.
Yeah.
But Jerimuno picking Ottoman, which is a weird pick on this map.
Yeah, he says it's because he needs something easy and he can't handle more than 5 units. So that explains why. He will surely get more than 5 units, but if it's only Jans, it's not too hard to control. So hopefully he's not going to train Abus, because then he might need to micro.
Yeah, he can just bot FF, it's fine.
I think we might expect that.
But I mean, Lecastete can play a number of civs. I mean, I think he plays quite well against the Ottoman civ anyway. And on this map, Ottoman has it's pretty shit, isn't it, as a civ? Unless you're a dick and you go for the TP socket in your opponent's base, you can't go for a stagecoach in the slightest, and even then, you wouldn't want to stagecoach the map. Ottoman just needs TPs, right? And you're basically playing a 1 TP map with Ottoman here, and Dutch coming in with Lecastete, and we see Dutch quite a lot on this map, simply because the hunts, there's quite a lot of hunts in base, and there's a few coin mines. But Dutch versus Ottoman's again an interesting pick in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this matchup is totally fine for Dutch on a map where you can't get a stagecoach as Otto. So this map is obviously not good for Otto, and it's pretty good for Dutch. And I think it makes for a good matchup for Dutch here. You could play a lot of other civs, of course, like France or Germany, but Casted cannot play these anymore. You could go also Spain or even Ports. I think Ports should win here. But I think Dutch is solid here against Otto.
Yeah, obviously, I think as Ottoman, you go for an FF here, right? You go for Falconets, and Dutch struggle.
I guess.
Dutch tend to struggle against Falconets, right, early on?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how well Dutch is gonna defend basically. It's gonna be hard to kill the Falconets, but it's also hard for Ottoman to defend Falconets from Reuters when you have only Jans, and Jans don't have so much range.
Yeah, Jans only, just Musketeers only have 12 range, of course. And Reuters, I mean, they have the same range, but you can kite a bit. Because they're saying 1 sec, that's fine. But, yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say more about the game. Except from Lecastete is the one defending. Ottoman is the one who wants to be pressuring, obviously, because Dutch's eco is pretty insane when they get those banks up. And, yeah, I'm still confused by Jerimuno picking Ottoman here as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's really a comfort pick, and now not a map pick, because it doesn't make much sense on this map. I mean, you've got a lot of resources and no TP line, which is exactly the opposite of what Ottoman wants. So, but I guess he's just comfortable playing them.
Yep, and there's the green in, so we're going to go straight into it. The crate start here does matter a bit. Ottoman do prefer having that wood start, and obviously Dutch, a coin start is just really, really good. But we'll have to wait and see. I will introduce the players when we come in for what is the penultimate day, no, the final day of the EPL Week 3. Basically the only day for CMC, so that's something to note.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at the starters. But at the top of the map in the colour red is Jerimuno. It is a coin start even, so that's even better for Dutch. As our Ottoman here with the 2 wood crates for a TP, and you also have another wood crate which is used for, well, it's used for house. You don't really put anything else with it. And obviously I think Dutch is happy with that coin start. Any coin start's good for Dutch. It means you only have to chop 100 or mine 100 coin. And well, in essence, I don't think really Ottoman uses that coin unless they're going to go for an FF, right?
Yeah, it's more about, like, honestly, Dutch doesn't mind so much, because getting an extra 100 gold usually doesn't mean you can age up earlier. Usually you age up with 15 vills anyway. So, you know, getting 100 extra gold or 100 extra wood anyway means you will get your bank more easily up. So it doesn't make a big difference usually. However, here the problem is more about Otto. Just Otto has no way to use the gold. So it's not very good for Dutch, but it's just kind of bad for Otto to have that coin that he can do nothing with.
Bit of a treasure contention here on the top as well. Over 95 wood, I
Try to
think.
pulling the Explorer, maybe gonna be able to steal.
Ottoman got it
not
anyway.
getting
He did get the XP though for that White Tiger. And if he uses the Envoy, he can block quite nicely and might even be able to get the that Explorer down. Although it is quite close to his base, and it's pretty bad micro.
But actually blocking his own Explorer and gonna let the Ottoman Explorer escape.
95 wood is actually quite big there for Ottoman, because he's able to get his mosque up. You chop 5 wood and then you can get the mosque up instantly, which is quite strong. And actually there's 40 wooden base for Ottoman as well.
Yeah, I even wonder if it was worth chopping 5 wood and building the mosque, as it kind of delays your age up a little bit, instead of simply coming back in his base and crack shooting the wood, and you know. But it's not a big, definitely not a big deal. But yeah, pretty good start for Otto here, getting that 95 wood right next to his trading post. Quite fortunate for him. But now Casted getting himself 85 wood, so it's also going to help getting his bank up in transition.
Yeah, because they're actually missing this treasure here, which would have helped him quite a lot there. Snow Monkey
it's
did
really out of line of sight.
I think you did rebalancing for treasures, right? You added those 2 monkeys in there, as otherwise it was just 3 and a bit overpowered. But there's still quite a lot of nice treasures here. This pirates map, it isn't too useful for either player, but it is quite easy to take. Ottoman, I think, just saw 80 food. I'll have a look. Yeah, he did just spot 80 food for himself, which is quite nice. But both players are now going to go for that 40 wood. I don't think Jerimuno has actually spotted it yet, so Dutch should be able to just take it himself.
Jerimuno actually going away. I guess he didn't see that treasure, and Casted gonna get the wood. So at the end of the day, if we look at the age one, it's pretty even.
Yeah, relatively even, I think. I mean, that mosque came into Ottoman, which is obviously quite strong. What are they aging with? Ottoman's aging with the governor, which is the tower, correct?
Yeah, it's the tower and 200 gold. So we will see the good old high IQ Ottoman build
But
that we see so much at the moment because it's apparently overpowered. So we'll
yeah,
see about that. Uh,
but
I hope my boy Lecastete shows us that it's not that strong after all.
yeah, I mean Dutch can go basically full Reuter versus Ottoman, can't they? And it's just incredibly strong. Especially once you
Yeah,
get Caracol in, it's just ridiculous. But
it's
you
kind
have to
of
get
about,
there first, don't you?
yeah, you have to. Well, Lecastete needs to build a bank right now and mine some gold. Okay, he's going for it. A bit sloppy maybe, but not a big deal. Gonna steal the wood in Jerimuno's base, and yeah, the thing is that Lecastete needs to not be too greedy.
Yeah,
If you go for the standard 4 banks FF, I think you might just die to the tower FF. So I think you either need to go for 3 banks, a quick age up, or do something with an 8 pike shipment and maybe 5 skirms from a barracks, and just to get the tower down and delay the Ottoman push. Something. My point is that I don't think you can go for the standard FF because then you die. So hopefully for Kestet he doesn't uh, go full autopilot and just makes
yeah.
banks and then dies.
Yeah, I think Castette's a good enough player to know, but you go for 3 banks. He's probably going to go for 700 wood here. 700 wood, then, or even maybe bank wagon first, you never know, and just go straight up. But yeah, 700 wood coming in. Obviously a bit greedier than the bank wagon. Did go for the bank wagon with the 400 wood from the age up there, but he's going to go for banks. Going to go for market there. Probably going to go for a stable at some point as well. But he did spot the tower there, so he knows he can be a bit more greedy here. Ottoman going to go up with a scout. If we look at Jerimuno's deck, it's pretty standard, right? It does have the weird Janissary cost card, which nobody ever sends, but that is the only card which I think is abnormal there.
Oh, that's very late game,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and you might, if you're gonna have a late game card, you might as well have Eco Theory in Age 1, which is just a very good card. And obviously, Ottomans doesn't have too many vills usually, but if you do go late game and you have like 3 TCs, then you might as well ship Eco Theory, and you don't even have to be industrial for it. It's
yeah.
definitely better than the Jan card, but
I
not
doubt we're
probably
going to see
not
it.
gonna come into play anyways.
Yeah, it's not going to come into play at all. But the main point here is that Jerimuno doesn't have a deck for revolting, even though he is going out with a scout. I think that's just because you go out with a scout, you have 5 Janissaries, and it's a bit like a mini Russia timing push, if you will, of Cossacks and Musketeers that they like to do. Yeah, I mean, Castette's going to be up in just a second.
Yeah,
Does have a
so he
fast
did
age.
go for the 3 banks FF. So when you go for that FF, you just build a bank in transition, another from 400 wood, another from 700 wood. You macro to have all your vills on food, and just use your banks and the 700 gold to age, and you get steel traps as well because it helps you gather your 1k2 food. So he's gonna be up a bit later than Ottomans, obviously, but not much, which is what matters here. And then you just get a stable up in transition. So the 4 hussars will have a bit of a window to idle.
Yeah, but idling Dutch is well, it's idling Dutch. You have banks still working, so roughly 12 villagers on those banks, basically just working by themselves. So really, unless he gets a couple of villagers here, the idle he's going to get isn't going to be too great. He's going to get up, and he might idle him for 40 seconds. He's going to lose a villager, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah, that coin mine is a little bit forward and definitely not going to be too good for Dutch here. But yeah,
I mean,
now it's going to be down to Dutch really, holding,
micro, yeah,
defending well. Um,
going to get a house
to
up as
get a
well.
stable up.
Yeah, he needs to stable up here. Of course, he can send 9 Reuters straight away, but
Yeah,
again,
he will probably. But you also, 2 Falconets first is kind of
this
risky. But then again, Castet is also a bit late. I've done that FF as Dutch, and if I remember correctly, you're up at 7 minutes, and he's just up a veil later. And being up 30 seconds later might just make you lose the matchup. I mean, this bank will go down
Yeah, bank will go
almost
down.
surely.
That's basically 4 villagers, and of course, it does give an XP boost to Ottoman there. But if he can take down a number of his Janissaries, once those 2 Falconets go down, that's sort of the end of the Ottoman push in Age 3, which is sort of iffy. But a couple of Hussars do come in, sort of distract those villagers. We look at units in queue. Probably should have put it on 6% earlier. I'm sorry about that. But 2 Reuters in queue. Probably going to be able to get out 5. And if he does get out 5, I think he's going to be...
And Minutemen and 9
Minutemen,
Reuters, you could totally kill the Falconets. And honestly, if I can kill the Falconets for free, I'm fine with losing a bank. Like,
yeah, there's 9
if
Reuters.
the files just go down, like, it's totally worth it.
Villager, which is all the way over the side here, it does go down.
Those Hussars die though.
Yeah, 3 Hussar Settler isn't the greatest, especially the thing is
yeah.
1,000 wood now coming for Jerimuno.
1k wood at the tower too.
Tower, yeah. I think this Falconet's almost certainly going to go down, especially if there's another batch of Reuters coming in. A shipment is on the way for Lecastete. Lecastete, obviously, I think he can send 1,000 wood here, can't he? Or even just send 7 Reuters, and clean up this mass. And again, once you kill the Falconets, Ottoman's at a pretty disadvantaged position. He is now going down with the artillery foundry, but it's going to be a while until anything comes out from there. And I think what Lecastete does now is he just builds the banks up and just goes full rotor, right?
I guess it depends on whether he scouts the foundry or not. I think if you scout the foundry, I don't know if you, because he might be making Abus guns, so I guess you don't go for Culverins just yet. But overall, I think as Dutch in this matchup, when they go for a Tower FF, you kind of want to just get 8 skirms and then pure router and just try to micro your skirms as good as possible to get some free kills while also killing the Falconets with your routers. 1k gold again at the tower. That is very sloppy by Jerimuno. And I think Lecastete will see the gold, which is kind of big because he knows that it's either going to be MAMS or something from a foundry. Yeah. Falconets or Abus, but it's not going to be more Jans. It's not, he knows about it, and so maybe he can try to figure out what exactly Jerimuno is going to do. But either way, I think Lecastete is comfortable making just more routers against 1k gold. Like, no matter what, if you see 1k gold and you make routers, it can't really be wrong.
He has still only got 2 banks up, which is pretty poor for Dutch. He is now going up with an artillery foundry at the back himself, and I would not be surprised if he sends 1,000 coin or even 1,000 wood just to get some culverins out himself and just pumping them out. If we look at units in queue, it is Abus guns in queue for Jerry, but obviously Reuters do quite well against Abus. Reuters do only have 0.1 range resist, which is one of the negatives against a Scum Goonsive of Dutch. But against Abus guns, that really works out well for them. And he might even pick up 5 here. Does
that
snare.
Is very painful. And Lecastete nicely splitting, so he's gonna kill all 5 Abus for pretty cheap. And keep in mind that regardless of how many banks Dutch has, even if he's got only 2, he's quite far ahead in eco. So this kind of trade is great. And a batch of Abus takes so long to produce compared to a batch of Reuters. So now this is just slowing down the Ottoman push by so much. I think Jerimuno is just being way too passive with his 1k wood, 1k gold. He had a good start with killing the bank and not even losing his Falconets. So he could have just kept pressuring with 8 Jans and just being more aggressive. But I don't think this is going to pay off. Just sitting back with 1k wood, 1k gold, no extra TCs, and just making Abus like that, not without even he does have veterancy actually, but only 5 Abus guns. So maybe a little bit too passive from Jerimuno here.
Yeah, and
2 Falconets popping as well.
Would you prefer Culverins to have a Falconets? Because obviously the Abus guns can take out a Falcon, the Culverins quite easily there. And
I think 2 Falcons is fine.
And 8 skirms
it's fine because
he got
killing
the
one of the
Falconets.
Falconets, quite a big mistake by Jerimuno. The Falcons will go down somewhat easily because of the Abus and the Jans, but this was the kind of trade that Lecastete needs. I mean, he's got skirms alive. He can poke forever. There's not too many Abus guns. More Abus joining the fight, though. Lecastete might need to call Minutemen. He still has them available. Yeah,
it would make sense for him to call Minutemen. Actually, I mean, I think he can just run in here with the Reuters. The skirmishers do have more range than the Abus guns here. Not a lot of Reuters left.
Wasting a lot of Reuters now. That is not what you want.
Yeah, he needs to get back here. A couple of Hussar in queue. He needs more Reuters on the field, really, and he's now sort of included to having to chop a lot of wood. Only does still have 2 banks up, so he doesn't have an infinite source of coin. And at the same time, there is the millet system upgrade on I think it's millet system. Yeah, millet system on Jerimuno settlers, which is making them slightly faster, and this is quite a big army for Jerry.
Yeah, so Otto is on 24 wheels instead of like 22 or 23 because of that upgrade. So he obviously has a great eco. I mean, Dutch is still so far ahead with only 2 banks. It's kind of funny.
Oh, Sparhy coming in.
Oh, that could be a problem for Castet. After he wasted all his reiters, he's got 6 reiters. And Vet
Yeah.
Hussars. Oh man, this is not gonna go well for Castet. He needs to call Minutemen, but it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, unless he has a batch of royalties coming out, which unfortunately he doesn't. Sparhy are just gonna destroy. Sparhy is so good when they're just hand combat of anything. And basically cuirassiers, which are slightly stronger in the Fortress Age. He's gonna get some good shots off from these Reuters, but his army just gets demolished. And I mean, that mine at the top left is just gonna get. Well, I think this is just over for Castell.
If he just didn't waste like 5 or 6 reiters there when he was pushing back, he would have probably been okay here. Would have made the difference between dying to the Spahies and not dying. Although that batch of Huss is kind of big. I mean, there's not too many Jans and still Minutemen alive. Jerimuno not remicroing. Jerimuno needs to go melee mode, but what is he doing? He's just losing his Abers to all the Hussars, and this is great for Dutch, actually. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
I'm kind of confused about that cleanup.
all those Minutemen are still alive. What the hell is happening? And
oh, what a throw, man. Jerimuno just won the game there, and now he's just thrown it, I think.
And now Castell can, well, he can send 1,000 wood here. I think that's the only thing he's got to send.
He just needed to melee mode his Jans, like a PR20, and he would have done the job, like, literally, but he just didn't really pay attention. Maybe he was like, yeah, okay, I've won, you know, and then he's lost. Well, he hasn't lost. It's still a game, for sure. It's a pretty close game, actually, at this point. Yeah, I don't really know who's winning this.
I mean, Cassette, he just needs to go Reuter Skirm, right, doesn't he? And he should be fine. Or even just pure Reuters, I think would work quite well. I don't know what just died there. A Hussar.
A Huss just gone down, yeah.
Yeah, 2 Hussars just running around. But how Dutch is still alive, I have no clue. This is quite perplexing, really. But 1,000 food now coming in.
Oh, 1k. Doesn't he have 8? He doesn't have 7 skirms in deck. Yeah. That is terrible. He's got the Hackapels, but when are you going to ship Hackapels against Otto? He really needed 7 skirms because it's exactly what he needs right now. That is not very good. Also, the Hussars, the fact that he teched the veteran Hussars instead of just getting more Reuters is very questionable. Although they did a good job, but overall, I think you're better off just making Reuters at this point against Otto. But anyway, 1k food is still gonna help him.
Oh, he needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to run all his units into the. If he takes out those Abbas guns, though, actually, which he does have more range on, somehow there's still Minutemen alive. I've no clue how. But does he really want to be pushing forward here? I don't know if he does.
I think he is okay to push forward just because he probably has enough cav to pull trick his skirmishers away, and there's only 1 Spahi alive, so he's got the range advantage, and he's got, you know, the only thing would be Mams. Obviously he would die to Mams, but I don't think Otto can get Mams. I mean, he's already used his 1k gold. He doesn't have the eco to go for Mams. Actually, Otto got all his wheels on gold, so maybe he's got Mams on the way. Maybe he just gathered the 1k gold and I didn't notice. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if Mams come in here, I think it sort of spells GG. But I think as the game goes on, if he lets the game go on and on and on, and Dutch is able to mass, I think Dutch wins, don't they? Surely.
Yeah. If it keeps going, for sure, Dutch. I mean, he's ahead in eco. He's gonna get stronger units with scum combat and calf combat at some point. The big thing is that this is going on, and this should be punished by Otto. There's way too many bills gathering for free there.
5 Huss coming in. Abbas are going to go down. 5 Huss. These are only just normal Hussars. They're not really that useful in this fight. Especially seeing as how many Reuters are left. That last Sparhy almost certainly is going to go down in just a second.
Pretty solid unit control by Lecastete so far. But these Hussars getting a great surround by Jerimuno here. But they are not too strong, like you said. Lecastete needs to hit and run. He needs to pull his skirms back. He's running them in the Huss, which is not what he wants. And actually, this is a big cleanup by Otto, kind of.
Yeah,
I think if you look at the scores, it might just be GG. Lecastete did a pretty good job at not dying when it was looking really over. But Now, I mean, these bills, they will not live forever for sure.
I mean, I think it all depends on how well Lecastete can kite here. There's nothing to snare. A couple of Abyss guns are sort of away here. Oh, a couple of veteran hussars do come around the back.
Yeah, maybe with great micro, Lecastete could be. But this has getting code. He really can't afford to waste any single unit at this point. And there's just enough Abers to kill the skirms, honestly. Like 6 Abers against 10 skirms is just enough.
Oh, he's going to get the Explorer to snare, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it did miss, actually. Infantry combat now.
Oh, man, if you had 7 skirms in deck, it would be so good right now.
Although, actually, all the Abyss guns are down. A couple more are going to come around the other side, but those veteran hussars, I think, are just going to get on them in just a second.
And the VLs need to go. They need to go back into TC.
What is going on?
This game is crazy. But already with 7 skirms now, Lecastete would totally defend this, and he might be okay. Why is Lecastete making so many hussars? What the fuck?
Yeah, but 3 hussars now coming onto the He only has 1 barracks. That's the problem he has. Oh no, he has an artillery foundry as well, but that's probably useless. Look how many units here, villagers here, are idle for Jerimuno here. He's not getting any more units out here because of that.
Yeah,
and this army's nearly been cleaned up.
Yeah, actually, Lecastete is okay. Somehow another sort of overcome it by Jerimuno, and yeah, 30 vills were not gathering the whole time, so Jerimuno is not gonna reinforce so much. But this army by Lecastete is kind of ridiculous. I mean, he's just got 6 skirms and 3 huss alive, and I don't know. Maybe he can raid his way to victory now. Maybe he's going for a raid now. He could maybe catch this, force. Like, look at this. Jerimuno is gonna have to pull back all his army to defend a 3 husses raid. Gonna have to pull back his vills too. He's gonna lose 1, maybe 2 vills here. Maybe no vill. Actually, they're gonna go back to the army. But this is just buying so much time for Lecastete. Yeah. He's gonna kill a vill now.
He just needs to abuse the mobility of the hussars he has here. I think that Mamluks are going to come in just a second. I would not be surprised. Simply because Jerimuno's...
5 Jans, actually. 5 Jans were cold.
5 Jans?
Not too good.
Why would you not send even 5 cavalry archers here wouldn't be a bad idea than 5 Jans. I think that's a better shipment. Or even Janissary combat.
Yeah, 5 cavalry archer is definitely better than 5 Jans. Not even close. But Lecastete is sort of donating hussars here. He can't fight this. He needs to pull back. There's too many Abyss guns. But honestly, he will not. He won't ever be able to fight this. I mean,
yeah.
There's no way he can kill these Abyss guns. 13 of them, and
unless he somehow just went pure Reuter and got a massive Reuter, which isn't going to happen. So and now he's going to lose loads of villagers here. And,
he does have skirm combat, so his skirms don't do too bad against Abyss, and that's a nice snipe right now. But
actually, if he can get no, hussars are too far away.
Maybe he's gonna pull the vills in. Maybe, I guess that's his best shot. Maybe he can fight with the vills and the huss, and just tank and hope for the best.
Vills on the Abyss guns here.
Maybe.
Actually, I don't think
this is doing well so far. I mean, he hasn't even lost a single vill. Well, 1, 2 vills are gonna go down maybe, but Jerimuno is just not controlling his Jans so well, and the vills are getting pulled in. But the thing is, there's just so many Abyss. Regardless, like Lecastete can't do this forever, and.
Yeah, 16 Abyss against 11 skirms is never going to go well for the Abyss guns, for the skirmishers there. And the villagers are off for those hunts. Somehow he's still hunting up here, which is perplexing to me, really. But yeah, this isn't looking good for Lecastete. Even though he's somehow ahead on score, I think that's indicative of Mamluks maybe being on the way or something. I don't know. Actually, no, Mamluks aren't even in deck, so we've been talking about them all this time, and they haven't been in Jerry's deck somehow. I mean, he can kite those skirmishers, but obviously Abyss guns, if they get into contact, just do so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got 1 more range, and Abyss guns actually shoot instantly, unlike skirms. So it's not even 1 range. Maybe you have like a 0.5 range advantage, kind of. It's not really enough to realistically kite veteran Abyss. So
I mean, looking at how many Abyss guns though, and Janissaries are all in there, maybe it's time for 6 hack pals. They would just shred through the Abyss guns.
I kind of feel like Abyss would beat Hackapos though at this point. I mean, how much damage do these do? He's got what, 18 Abers? They do 24 damage each. It's enough to one shoot a hackable. So you know, I don't think it would work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if it was Black Riders, I think against Ottoman you want Black Riders instead, don't you, as a mercenary shipment maybe. But again, these there's just so many Abbas guns here, and Abbas, when you have a massive, we look at 18 Abbas guns with veterancy on them.
Yeah,
just
we're
so
reaching the
good.
point where you just don't kill Abers at this point, unless you have really a good eco yourself, calf combat, and some queers or something. But like right now, there's just no way you kill Abers guns, and this is why it's just so much superior to go for Abers than to go for Falks. Because if Jerimuno would have gone for Falconets and Castel had a Foundry, he would have just made calls and be totally fine. But Abers, you just don't counter them
Oh,
at this point.
it's quite a
Three
big
Huss.
3 Huss. This is
Let's
quite a
go.
big Huss push actually. Funny enough, 1,000 Wood still hasn't been sent. I think 1,000 Wood is probably better than 3 Huss. Those Abbas guns actually one-shotting a Hussar now, which is just insane.
Yeah, you're not killing these Abers. You're not. These Huss will die. Jerimuno is gonna hit and run, and you know, just melee a few Jans, force the Hussars away, keep shooting with Abers. Don't even need to micro at this point. The viewers will die as well anyway, and Lecastete has done really well in terms of micro this game, but it's just the more stuff principle at this point.
Yeah,
it's
more stuff, and in fact, more stuff is Abbas guns. Makes it even worse. There's Jerimuno picking up a game, but
yeah,
a weird game, to say the least.
a pretty good game. I mean, lots of actions the whole game. Definitely could have gone either way. I think it kind of came down to maybe Castet giving these free routers at some point just before the Spahis. Kind of, you know, Castet barely cleaned up at the end, but if he just had 5 more routers in the fight instead of barely cleaning up, he could have convincingly cleaned up maybe and just won the game. But well, that was a good game. Pretty. If you look at the shipments from Jerimuno, it's pretty funny. You see these 5 Spahis, 8 Jans, 5 Huss, 5 Jans, 5 Cavalchers, just so all in. Pretty intense game.
Yeah, and but there is a Civ set now.
Yes, indeed.
For anyone wondering where Kevin Italian versus Perez is, that's on Jailed stream. I'll be keeping a watch on that, and I'll tell you the score. I'll update you on it. Apparently, someone's donated $100 to the ESOC stream, but at some point, I don't know what it was. So the total prize pool, I believe, is now an extra $1,000 on top for the EPL, which is quite nice. I don't think that was in my stream, but I think that was in Harrison's one earlier. So whoever wins will collectively probably get $200 more. I think that's how it works for each player. So if CMC wins, I guess you'll get an extra $200, Kaiser. But
possibly.
That's nice. But yeah, that's. I shouldn't join now. But yeah, I think the next map is Lumico or something, isn't it?
It's Dakar, apparently.
Oh, okay. Dakar's an interesting map, at least.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a warship in the pond fest, basically. Probably just get artillery, get warships, control that middle pond. If you control the pond, you usually can also control the stagecoach for the most part. So we'll probably see some civs revolving around that. Maybe Otto again, as Otto, they have the Abers guns. They have an easy time getting artillery or shipping warships. You could see Spain, you could see different civs there. So I believe Castel has to pick first this time.
Yeah, Castet has to pick first. But it is that Civ reset, so Castet can play Germany or France or whatever he wants. Whatever Civ. While we're waiting, I'm going to quickly go downstairs and get a drink. So for some reason Hazard's in game. I don't know why that is, but I guess you can comment on over what we pick. What map?
Yeah. So waiting for a slot. And then I'm going to be able to talk about the matchup. All right, so Daka indeed. And Castet does have to pick first. So yeah, I don't really know. This kind of map is probably not too good for Castet. He's more of a standard player. So not only does he perform better in the standard matchups and standard kind of gameplay, but also he just doesn't really have any good civs for this kind of map. So I don't really know what he's going to be able to pick. Oh, I think ESO is down actually. So we'll have to wait and see what Castet is going to luck. And then Jerimuno could just play Otto himself. I don't know how well Japan does on this map. There's a lot of berries, and Japan could maybe be interesting just getting these flaming arrows to control the pond. But then again, there's a big stagecoach, so I don't know about Japan here.
Japan is also odd because this map has no forward hunts at all. So you can't really shine your opponent's hunts. You have to shine the ones at your back, and there's not enough hunts to shine. Noel donating, I think that's 5 subs. So congratulations to Flantier, SPQR something, Diner, Pwinker, Watervo, and Tim Dog 37. But yeah, I mean, has anyone picked yet, or is it just?
No, it's up to Castet to pick, but it looks like he doesn't really know what to play. Maybe this map being, like I said, not very standard and not very good for Castet's civilization pool. He'd rather play on Kamchatka and High Plains, than on this kind of map. I'll be right back.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, Cassette picking France, which is the strong civ, obviously. On this map, you do have a TP line, which you can take. Obviously, Daniel played quite a lot of France on this, so I know it works quite well. You do have those berry bushes at the top, which I guess worked well for France as well. There is no yaks, I don't believe, on the map. And maybe there is. I think no, there is yaks at the top. You can see from the white dots. So France's scout is quite useful there. But we'll have to wait and see what Jerimuno picks. He can still pick France and Japan, but he did lose his, to Germany. What was Japan earlier? Yeah, he's pasting the thing now. I think he meant to paste that to his Discord chat of his team, the MDS. But by the looks of it, there was a bit of a discussion in the CMC chat about what civs Cassette should play. He was asking Kaiser, asking Daniel, asking B-Winner. But we'll have to wait and see what Jerimuno picks now. B-Winner even saying to pick ports, which Cassette didn't choose. But yeah, Jerimuno going to pick. He goes in with Ottoman. So yeah, Ottoman's quite a strong pick here. You do have a 4 TP line. Jerimuno did just lock in with Ottoman. And you, of course, do have that pond animal. Galleys, I think, are slightly stronger, if I recall, than what they called caravels in the Second Age, which is strong. And, of course, you do have the ability to make Abascuns, and Abascuns against warships are pretty good. But yeah, we'll have to wait until Kazi comes back for both players to agree on him. Because that's talking to be winner as we speak. But actually, Jerimuno, what? Okay, I guess he can switch. He did lock into Ottoman, but now he's going to switch to Iroquois. It's like Kaiser's door shutting. You can, but yeah, he's switching to Iroquois. So this is a different dynamic. Obviously, Iroquois tends to be sort of France, but better in most people's eyes, I believe. So we'll have to wait and see what they do. If we have a look at the other games being played at the moment, I believe Gerald is still streaming. He should be at least. And ESOC yeah, Gerald is streaming. It is currently 1-0 to Perez, and it is a Ottoman Spanish game by the looks of it on that stream. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. I'll keep you updated. But as for other games today, we've got a couple more later. Kaiser's game is in should be in half an hour, but I don't think it's going to be played in half an hour. I must be honest. But
all right, I'm back.
right,
so it looks like Jerimuno is going to be Euro. No, he's not sure.
Yeah, he picked Otto and then switched to Euro, which he might switch back again. You never know, but there shouldn't really be a time limit on how long you can counter pick, because in between games, especially if you've got such a slotted or a scheduled day, such like today, or especially seeing as I think Sunday is the only day Mite can play. If you step over, it becomes troublesome, especially if you just sit in the lobby for 10 minutes. But yeah, I think this is a fine matchup for Lecastete. Obviously, Iroquois tends to be slightly stronger with France, I believe, on TP, but France can obviously hold at home.
Yeah, I mean, Euro has been nerfed. It's a bit closer than it used to be, I guess. But I would still favor Euro, and this map is also kind of lower resources. Then again, there's something else on this map. It's the pond, and the pond is just better for France because France can get the falconets. France can get some warships in there. Euro has like just one warship shipment. It's the privateers, but you know they're not. They are expensive, and it's not as good as being able to ship 2 caravels and a frigate and getting falconets. So, but then again, the warheads can also help control that middle pond. So I don't really know. Maybe still a bit Euro favored.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see though, because obviously Jerimuno can switch again. Person who's counter picking can switch however many times they want until they green up. There's the Ottoman coming in for Jerimuno, which I don't know. I think this is probably Ottoman's probably stronger than Iroquois on this map.
Yeah, I definitely rather play against Euro than against Otto on this map because I don't know how you beat Jan Abus semi on this map as friends. Just controlling the pawn, controlling the stagecoach, edging up, getting the falconets, adding TCs if you need, just complete map control, stagecoach, and really strong units.
Yeah, and obviously Abascons just demolish warships, don't they, because of their siege attack. So really, I mean, this is quite a good pick on this map as a whole. But I'll wait and see what Lecastete does. I think he's probably going to ask. I think he's already asked B-Winner, hasn't he, about what to do or whatever. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But again, Perez is 1-0 up on the other stream, on Gerald's stream, which in my eyes, somewhat expected maybe, I don't know. But by the looks of it, midway through the next game, and Kevin is doing relatively well for himself. So we might see quite an even series in that sense. Again, that's the same matchup. But launching into this game, it is Lecastete versus Jerimuno. Ottoman for Jerimuno, French for Lecastete. And on Dakar, one of the newer maps, plays a bit like New England.
Yeah, it is a bit similar to New England. Obviously, the pond is the biggest feature of this map. It's an interesting map, although a little bit imbalanced in terms of matchups. I mean, you kind of it's a map that kind of locks you into a few civs. You can't play most civs on this map because it's so non-standard that it sort of just forces you to play the top civs here. Castet going for France, which is actually not at all a top civ on this map, but I believe it's a comfort pick by Castet.
Yeah.
While Jerimuno is going for the Otto, which are totally strong here, for sure.
It is a good start for Castet here. It does have the coin start.
Yeah.
Give a word, so he's going to go for market straight away. Being a bit sloppy with the Vil micro on those crates, you want to only put 2 Vils on a crate really as well, otherwise you miss a tick. But that's
also kind of mismicroing the treasure, just losing 80 HP and then just not shooting. Like I guess he misclicked and I don't know. So he just lost some HP and did not get the tiger. The tiger could have been nice because then if you can get to kill the Ottoman explorer, it's of course always huge.
Yep. He's going to pick up 50 coin though, which is a nice treasure to pick up. Allows him just to chop wood now for that hunting dogs upgrade, and get that in. There's so much hunt on this map as well, so he shouldn't really be running out of hunt at all for a long time. Ottoman, obviously being standard, they've got pretty standard deck there. Two galleys. You'll have to correct me, but I believe galleys are slightly stronger in caravels as warships.
It's even if they are gonna fight each other, I believe a caravel and a galley they're just as strong against each other. However, the galley is better against land units because it has more attack. I mean, provided that it's not gonna die. I mean, let's say you're up against H2 units and you got galleys, they're just gonna do much more damage to the opponent's army, which is kind of what you want. But then again, against falconets, 2 falconets are going to one-shoot a galley while it doesn't one-shoot a caravel. So it kind of each boat has its own strength and weaknesses, but there's similar in terms of strength.
Yeah, and of course, Cassette's deck pretty standard. Two caravels in there, 1 frigate in there. Not really anything you'd see out of a blue. It does have 700 food, which you don't normally see as far as I don't believe, but other than that, that's pretty standard as a deck. The explorers are scouting here. Both players picking up some decent treasures there. Cassette 45 food, Jerimuno 45 food, 50 coin. Cassette picking up another 50 coin, and Jerimuno another 20 coin. Again, that coin is sort of pointless for Ottoman in Age 1, so he's not going to be using it too much. He is going up with a governor, which tells me he's going to go for an
FF again.
An FF again, which I don't know if an FF is the right thing to do here. Actually, is Ottoman.
I really don't like the FF against France. I mean, just how does France deal with a Jan Abers like stagecoach on this map? Just how do you can't ship the caravels because he's gonna have Abers and then he gets his galleys and he wins the fight because Abers are gonna tip the fight in his favor. You can't if you just FF yourself as France, then Otto can just semi-FF and just have the stagecoach and just Jan Abers again. Otto can even wall this up so he doesn't get raided. I mean, it's just such a good Ottoman map. I don't know how you deal with that. But then again, FF as Otto, I would be really happy as France to scout an FF, honestly. I would be relieved to not have to face Jan Abers. So you can FF yourself as France if you see an FF, and I think you're fine, basically.
Yeah, and of course, Cassette can also take this trading post site, right? The second one, and stagecoach isn't really going to be scary. He does spot that. I believe he spots it, at least I hope he does. Yeah, he does spot the coin on the floor there, so that signals to him, and he's going to go for a FF agenda. Obviously, France is going up for quartermaster. There's nothing out of the blue there. Both players. That post wagon is going to go right next to the trading post, which is the smart thing to do, really, because you do get some sort of map control over that pond, which is quite nice. Scout again is going to scout where that outpost has gone down. It's quite strong for Cassette there. Cassette going to pick up 40 coin as well, but once he gets up here, I think it's almost certain he's going to go for that second TP, right? Or maybe not actually, because it can be taken down quite easily from a boat.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't want to take a second TP because it's gonna probably FF himself and it's gonna slow him down. I mean, Casted has seen the tower. So he knows what's going on, and he's probably just gonna click up very quickly. Maybe with 4 CDBs 700 gold, maybe with 4 CDBs 700 wood. He could take a second TP. I mean, if he's gonna FF, he doesn't need the wood. But it looks like he doesn't. I think it's fine either way.
Yeah, 700 coin. He's probably going to have 700 wood next, isn't he? And then just... well, it's the auto FF. Everyone knows that 700 wood comes in. Going to be picking up a barracks down there at some point. But France, going to go for four cuirassiers. Or cuirassiers, CDB. And by the looks of his micro, going to go straight for a jump, I think. Even might be worth eating the yaks, actually, just to get up even slightly faster.
Well, I think, yeah, he's gonna get 700 gold, and then he just doesn't need he doesn't need to eat yaks. It's actually a pretty good when you have an early TP like that, and you get 700 gold back to back right after 4 CDBs. So he's gonna get it right now. If he didn't forget to click it, he should get it right now. Yeah, okay, just now. You get the food you need. Basically, you can see he's gonna reach 1k2 food just in time. So you can even get gangs. You even can afford to get Gangsa at the same time. Like right now, he could queue Gangsa and still have the food he needs, because he's gonna need to chop some wood in transition to get his second building or something, or some houses, because he did not ship 700 wood.
It does have.
You kind of want to get Gangsa, but it's not.
Gangsa coming in now, burning a barracks down in base. Jerimuno is going up with the Admiral of the Ocean Sea, which is I believe 400 wood and a galley.
Oh, but he's not shipping it in the pond. I wonder if that's intentional. It's gonna pop here.
Yeah, but I mean, he can sort of shell the coast there. I think that I think it was intentional, because it's going. He's noticed it straight away, and he's going to go over to the.
But he's not going to get the barracks down. Surely the TC is in range.
The TC does so much damage, especially if this is a galley. Actually,
there's no way. That galley is
useless.
It's not useless. I mean, it will still be able to like sit here and defend the choke, but right now it's useless. Yeah, I think the obvious choice was to have the galley here. Also because it's together with the tower, so the galley and the tower together are kind of strong against any sort of water shipment from Lecastete. Even a frigate would have sort of a hard time dealing with a galley plus a tower. But now that galley is already half HP, and it's just gonna sit on that choke and not do so much. Yeah, so it's a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, and actually, if Jerimuno now sending 1,000 wood, I think France sends 5 goons here, right? And then they send 1,000 wood. Is the build order, if I can recall correctly? And this is going to be quite a scary push, especially since
I probably would skip 1k wood altogether as France against Otto. But yeah, so Jerimuno getting 1k wood himself, so he's directly going to drop a foundry. And probably going to try to get a stagecoach, because that's also why he's got 1k wood and a TC on top. But this is giving so much time to France, and we back to what I was saying. I mean, it's all nice to be H3 and to have a second TC, but he just doesn't have a stagecoach, right? And stagecoach is so much more eco than all of this. So and he will not get a stagecoach anytime soon, because Lecastete has units and he's doing a good job checking on top that Jerimuno is not building TPs there. So and that TC will pay off still kind of slowly by Jerimuno, and it just gives time to Lecastete to be France, and France just is quite fast, has good shipments, good eco overall, just gonna amass these skirm goon units, and we'll see how it goes. But definitely Jerimuno electing to go for the slower play style.
Yeah, and he's just allowing France to mass up. Obviously, Dragoons against Ottoman are really, really strong. And if you can get some Falconets in, he needs some siege, really, doesn't he? As a whole. Oh, that scout actually scouting the Explorer, which I think which sort of tells.
He will go.
He's going to go up there.
He should send his guns on top now. Might be too late, actually. I wonder. That Explorer is almost full HP.
But he needs that stagecoach to come in, and he hasn't even got it teched. Abba's guns are now getting the veterancy upgraded. And 8 skirmishers now coming in. Does Lecastete have 7 skirmishers in deck? He doesn't. Might end up biting
Again, well, I mean, that's more understandable
Yeah.
because of the map. You need the frigate, but I would rather cut refrigeration and have 7 skirms in. It would be more interesting.
Or even skirm attack is.
Yeah,
Good
just get the
stuff.
skirms. Just get 7 skirms in, basically.
There's not a lot of Abbas guns
Okay.
here, and there's a lot of skirmishers actually. With those 8 skirmishers now coming in, I think he's. Yeah, why is Jerry fighting this? This isn't a good fight for him at all.
Jerimuno he's trying to fight because he just bought his Explorer back from that top TC, which is kind of smart because obviously it's right next to the TP line, but he still had to pay basically 200 gold because you pay 100 gold yourself and you give your opponent 100 gold.
Yeah.
And also had to sort of try to defend, but he lost a lot of Jans and Abers for that. And now what? I mean, that TP can just totally get sieged down by Lecastete for sure. Oh,
Yeah.
and more Jans are going to be donated here. Oh, trying to snare. Maybe Mams could pop or something.
He did send 1,000 coin. That would make sense. And those Dragoons are quite far away. If Mams do pop here, 2 Falconets.
Oh, 2 Falconets gonna get great volleys, but I wonder if he's gonna be able to defend them. Surely Lecastete will get at least 1 volley with his goons in.
Yeah, he's gonna get 2. He's gonna get 2.
He's gonna kill a Falk, which is massive because then he can get 2 Falks himself and be totally okay here. And Jerimuno just moving forward with but Abers are gonna do really good here. So all in all, I think this was a good trade for Jerimuno, but he does have only 1 Falconet left now.
Oh, Explorer is still just alive, which is unfortunate, of course. But that trading post line does mean that Jerimuno is roughly equal in eco, and with that town centre working, and obviously you do have the millet system now working on for him, and I think there's Golter Town District, coming in as a tech. Jerimuno's going to slowly become slightly ahead in eco, and Lecastete needs to make something happen relatively fast. But now the 2 Falconets coming in, that's a lot of siege he needs, and he could just take out that single Falconet so easily because of how the trading works with him. Yeah,
he already needed these 2 Falconets before he could push, and now he can probably just get the TP as well. He needs to take 1 TP to be back to even in eco, I think. Oh, that is a good volley by Lecastete.
Yeah, good volley, and now I think he's probably going to get the Falconet if he doesn't just miss micro.
Oh man, this is close because now Lecastete can just send his goons in. And sort of force a reaction from Jerimuno. Because if you send your goons forward, then Jerimuno has to like pull back, but then you get your own Falconets and yeah, that's what Lecastete is doing, just bringing the goons. He needs to
get that Falconet down. Get the Falconet down. Oh, that's a huge volley.
That was a big volley on the Abers, and that half a Falconet alive for Jerimuno is not gonna cut it. I think this is really good for Lecastete.
But imagine if a frigate now pops, that home city shipment has been moved, and I mean, if a frigate pops, that's huge.
That could be game losing for Lecastete for sure.
Frigate popping,
frigate, it's gonna kill the Falconets, and that is risky by Lecastete just pushing in that location.
He needs that Falc down now. I mean, he is gonna clean up his army, but again, pushing in that location, I mean, may have lost him the game here. Saying that,
I don't know. I mean, he's still cleaned up, and he still has the frigate himself. Then again, there's the tower, so it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
And Abbas guns just do so well against frigates. So actually, this is looking quite good for Jerimuno here.
Kind of over now. Actually, it was looking good for Lecastete for a second, but now.
Yeah.
I think Lecastete would have been better off just getting the TP down and taking it himself. Maybe the second TP as well, and just waiting until he's got his own frigate. But now it's definitely not going to be good looking for Lecastete.
Honestly, I think that frigate I think it just wins them the game, right? Honestly, I mean, if that frigate didn't pop right then when the other Falconet went down, a couple of volleys came in, those veteran Abbas guns would have all been down. Although Cuirassiers is now being teched, 3 Cuirassiers coming in. There's not a lot of Janissaries here, and
that being said, if Lecastete brings back his army, he totally cleans this up. But he might have wanted to go in directly with the Queers. I mean, it's kind of risky. You don't want to go in with only 3 Queers, but he's obviously losing, and you have to try. At this point, you have to try to just go in with 3 Queers and clean up, because if you don't, you lose anyway. So, eventually Jerimuno is just going to win this. I mean, he's going to pull ahead in eco. He's got 3 TCs, soon 3 TCs. He's going to still have 2 TPs. And the frigate, so that's the control of the pond. Maybe Lecastete has to try to make culverins to deal with the pawn, but you know it's not. It doesn't feel good to train culverins just to kill a boat. So
yeah. I mean, if he goes culverins and then ships the frigate himself, he'll I think he'll do quite well with that. But again, you have to invest so much just to train culverins. It's quite ridiculous. But he's gonna have to fight this. Great coats do come in. Cavalry combat coming in now as well. So these Crusaders, if they can get on those Abbas guns, are going to do incredibly well. But
he needs to pull the CDBs though. There's no way he wins the fight without CDBs. But regardless, yeah, this is just GG. I think Lecastete is gonna resign because there's no way he can kill that army. And he knows that behind this, Ottoman has a much better follow-up anyway, with more eco, better units, and the frigates. So, and 3 TCs.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean you can't say it's bad for Lecastete still playing now. It is a tournament game. He is actually still ahead in eco. Just he's going to switch in just a second. There's not a lot of Janissaries left, and if he pushes forward here, but again that
there's a frigate. You just can't go there. I guess he has to force a fight somewhere on top. But even if he pushes here,
there's a third
Otto. Yeah, and Otto can just push here meanwhile or something like so. But he has to try to fight on top just because of the frigate. Actually, maybe the proper play now is to just ignore this pawn, because actually, who cares about this pawn now? Maybe just ship the frigate here yourself.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
And just fight around there.
But again, the Abbas guns are just so stupidly good against frigates. I think that probably needs to be changed because they're broken in most regards. They just basically flip frigates in half because of their siege attack. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a single place Lecastete can drop his frigate, which is incredibly powerful. And now Jerimuno are even going for that back T-temple so he can get the upgrade on those berry bushes. And Janissary combat now coming in. So these Janissaries are actually really scary against cavalry now. Even though they do only have a 2x multiplier, they are really good. And really, I mean, it's happened like the Dutch game basically. Lecastete was ahead on eco, but because he's given Ottoman time, and Ottoman's just been allowed to get a massive of Abbas guns out. Really, he needs to probably take the fight here with a CDB, pull CDB in, and he might be able to get a nice fight off. Obviously, Abbas guns do have a negative multiplier against CDB, but I don't see this going too well for Lecastete.
Nah. Lecastete has to resign soon. I mean, he's gonna try to take a fight now because he has to, but like he needs to just fight with CDBs. He's got the 2 upgrades and then the blunderbuss and great code, and so he can try to force a fight with CDBs. Have HP as well, which is really not something you want to be shipping when you have like no army and no eco. I mean, he has eco, but soon he's not gonna have anymore. It's just against 7 skirms would have been better probably, but. It's gonna be a good time. He can try to out micro this and maybe win the fight.
Actually, there's so many Crusaders there, but these do have 650 HP. These Abbas guns are on the back now. A couple of Minutemen do come out as well. And even more, a batch of 5 Crusaders might even actually just change this. And the CDB's just doing damage. These are basically like Strelets at the back doing some nice damage against Janissaries. Janissaries are nearly down, that front line's nearly down, and once that front line's down, all those Abbas guns are going to die. Those Minutemen are going to die instantaneously as well.
Yeah.
Unless there's a big pop.
I'm just worried about the follow-up for Lecastete. Yeah, he might clean this up barely, but after that, well, maybe he's done it actually. Maybe no, I don't know. It looks still tough for Lecastete, but definitely better now that he's just cleaned up the whole army, right? But still 30 score behind. Then again, 10 score is in that frigate, 4 score is in the galley, so.
And 5 more Abbas guns are going to go down. That was really.
That is a waste. That is a big waste of resources. More Jans, but Lecastete has skirms, so he might just kill the Jans too.
Yeah, he's just.
I mean, Jerimuno has to stop donating units because at some point he's gonna lose the game.
Yeah, there you go. I think it just comes down to maybe superior micro from Tet. Team ranged infantry attack. I don't know about that. Imagine if he shipped a frigate over here. Imagine if he shipped it in one of these ponds here.
Yeah.
It just gives you so much control. I mean, there is Abbas guns on the field, but Frigates do okay versus Abyssguns when they're in range. 5 Janissaries coming in, another time that car's being used. And it's just Janissaries against Skirmishers now. Skirmishers obviously do well. Cuirassiers are out. And really, Lecastete is still slightly ahead on Eco. Somehow he didn't lose he only lost 1 CDB in that fight. I don't know how.
But Jerimuno surely has like a lot of resources, and I think we'll see something like the MAMs or the Spahis pop soon, and maybe spell the GG anyway. But it was a really good effort from Lecastete, and he's still taking a really good trade.
I don't know. Look, what about this? It's raid here.
Oh yeah, that's a good raid.
He's gonna get probably 5 villagers there. Obviously,
yeah.
Ottomanville's dying isn't the worst thing to happen because they do get them for free. But oh yeah, I think he's gonna.
And I guess even if that loses his skirms to MAMs, I mean it's just 10 skirms, so it's not the end of the world. So actually, if you look at the graphs, Lecastete is ahead. Like Lecastete is actually winning now. I mean, that is such a massive throw from Jerimuno. I don't know. We'll have to see. He still got 3 TCs. Map control. Lecastete has just 1 hunt left.
Lecastete does also. He needs Lecastete needs siege as well. He is going to get a couple more cuirassiers in, but imagine if he had some falconets behind this, or musketeers, or something like that, or even pikes, just efficient siege to take down these town centres. And more Abyssguns are coming in. But again, he's sending in loads of Abyssguns with no anti-cavalry. Imagine if he had cav archers and said, Lecastete needs to wake up and move these cuirassiers, though, rather than just continually sieging. Saying that, if that town centre goes down, that's 11 settlers, and that's going to be game deciding, I think. And,
yeah, but there's a big batch of Abyss reinforcing.
Yeah, but again, there's no anti-cav. The anti-cav is ages away.
Maybe he's got a second set of Minutemen from that second.
No, he sent them. He's already sent them.
Oh, more Abyss. Does he have 2 foundries or something? Yeah, but there's still a lot of shit by Otto, basically. And no skirms to snipe the Jans.
Yeah, and he's now even going to get pushed off again. 5 more skirms are back there. We do see that Frigate get some damage on the cuirassiers actually over time, which is quite nice. Chest of 1,000 coin coming in, which is
nice because he's got too much food right now. So and a second barracks. But yeah, I mean, Lecastete kind of needs to ship a frigate here. I would really like to see that. Even if Abyss do fine against a frigate, if you have your own army at the same time, there's no way Abyss can focus the frigate. So it can be really nice for sure. That is so obnoxious.
Oh my god! Yeah, the frigate. Killing. It killed 2 there. That's quite big actually. 3.
What is this range? Oh, this bug is so retarded. He's got more than.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's a bug. Sometimes the boat just is gonna keep shooting for some reason, and
it was like 40 range from that. But it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's very sad.
And he lost 2 extra vills because of it. Higher Egyptian Mamluks now coming in. That's big. However, there's a lot of cuirassiers here. Cuirassiers do well against Mamluks actually. And there's only 4 Mamluks there.
No actual anti-cav, so.
Oh, but badge of 5 quiz. I think this is a good fight. If he can take on those Janissaries.
He needs to micro though. He needs to pull back his queers and split fire the skirms. But he's just fighting Jans. But regardless, it might just work. I mean, these are double carded queers, and Jans have Jan combat, but still the queers are so strong. And he's gonna just kill the Abyss again.
He's gonna kill the Abyss. The Mamluks are down. That's 2,000 gold basically.
But there's a frigate now.
Yeah, the frigate's gonna come in. He needs some. I mean, I know you said it earlier, but he did send 1,000 gold. Jerimuno is now stacking 1,000 resources. Jerimuno can actually even age up now, and I think that's what he's gonna do. I think he's gonna age up and or do something about it. But veteran cuirassiers. Again, why is he pushing here? Oh, it's because he's got the frigate. He can just defend. And obviously cuirassiers are slower. But yeah, I mean, Lecastete's out of hunt. He's out of resources. He's behind on eco against Ottoman. It's just good. And honestly,
he's just using the Ottoman coin mine. I mean, gold mine right now. So.
This civ is so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I feel like Lecastete has played.
He's played a lot better.
Like especially in terms of unit control, he's played way better than Jerimuno. I mean, he's constantly crushing fights, even though he's been behind the whole game. But just Ottomans are really good in this map, and I don't know how you pick this playstyle.
Jerry's going forward with Abba's guns here.
Yeah.
That town centre needs to go down though because he's
Oh,
losing
more
settlers.
queers. Is this a cleanup again? I mean, oh man. Yeah, Castell's gonna go for it. I mean, he's gotta keep cleaning up if he wants to win, and he might just be able to. Maybe he wants to get an arsenal though. I feel like counter infantry rifling would have done great, and the cav HP as well. But finally, good positioning for Jerimuno here.
Yeah.
Really, but still a lot of queers alive, and
This game is so true. Look how many settlers he's lost on his single
Three
TC.
hussars.
3 hussars now coming in. What the fuck is going on?
Kind of a good card. I mean, but oh yeah, I think this spells GG. Reinforcing batch of anti-cav, and finally Jerimuno is gonna win a fight. The 3 house are actually gonna clean up. Pretty good card by Jerimuno when you think about it. Even though 3 hussars is garbage, it does the job here, and I think it's the end of it for Lecastete finally, because next he's got all his eco and the Ottoman TC.
Well, he's also lost 18 settlers now because they've just been sitting under the TC, and they get 2 shot by the TC, unfortunately. More queers coming in. That figure is just broken. With how fucking far the range is. Somehow Cannonball landed here, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, I don't think this spells well for Lecastete. Settlers now actually gathering with each other, either side. He's still dying from that town centre, but he needs to be on that coin mine. It's just a necessity here. And yeah, he needs to get that town centre down. Siege it with a CDB, please. It's going to get all its HP back up.
Yeah, I think that TC should have gone down. Even with CDBs, indeed. They do have 9 siege each, so it wouldn't take too long to get it down. But yeah, this is the end of it.
Yeah.
And Cavachas might be a better choice than Jans, because Queers do sort of really good against Musks, while Cavachas are just really strong. You can also get Cav combat, so Cavachas are definitely a good choice right now. And yeah, it's gonna be GG.
Yeah, this is GG. There's no coming back from this.
Soon a 100 score gap, so
yeah. And Ottoman, I think, it just shows that Ottoman on this map is just too good. Especially versus France. I mean,
yeah.
You can just look how many fights Lecastete had actually won, but wasn't able to capitalise on any of them. But
yeah, and Otto is actually on 71 views, which is obscene.
And France only on 42. I forget now coming in. I don't even know where I got shipped. He got shipped to the wrong place. That's going to do nothing. Oh, fishing boats are coming out.
Jerimuno only now getting placer mines, and he still didn't get the. He did not get the native upgrade for the berries, which is unfortunate.
He hasn't got hunting dogs either.
Yeah.
That Spahi's coming in now.
But he's got 71 views, so who cares? And Spahi's, yeah.
But yeah, GG.
Close game. I mean, really. Yeah, I mean, you have to agree with Lecastete. Like, he's just been out microing the whole game, and but this map is just so good for Otto, and Jerimuno is still, you know, even though Jerimuno did not do a very good job controlling his units, he still played it properly overall, just getting these TCs up, getting the stagecoach, controlling the pond with the frigate, going for the proper unit composition. Like, imagine someone else, I will not say his name, but could have gone for Jan Falconet and just pathetically lost to Culverins, because if you go Jan Falcon this map, your opponent just goes Culverins, kills your Falconets and kills your frigate, and then you're just like fucked. But Jerimuno did not do that mistake. He went for Abius guns, which are just exactly what you want here. Even though he made too many of them and not enough anti-cav. But
yeah, but if we look at Jailed stream, have a look at the results there. It is 2-0 to Perez at the moment, and by the looks of it, Kevin is I don't know what Kevin's doing. He's being aggressive versus China in H2 as Germany, but looks like Perez is doing well there. But it is only 2-2 Obviously, Lecastete can still win the last game, and by the looks of it, Jerimuno can only win with the Ottoman Civ. So maybe Lecastete could win the last game quite easily. I don't know, but
yeah, now Lecastete is counter peaking, and there's no more autos. So I guess we might see Jerimuno going for Japan because it's his main civ. However, we could see Lecastete going Russia. So I don't know if Japan first is a good pick. What is the last map actually?
I don't know. I have no clue.
It's High Plains. Oh, so not having auto is something. High Plains definitely a good auto map, and I think this is gonna be good for Lecastete. He can still go Germany, which is strong on the High Plains, and it's a standard map. So I think Lecastete is quite pleased with that.
Yeah, and obviously Lecastete counterpicked, doesn't he? So really, he can choose whatever he wants and counterpick Joe's civ. But we'll wait until they start up their game.
Yep, we'll have to wait a bit. Maybe taking a short break. This series has been going for 2 hours already, somehow.
Yes, I don't know how it's been going on for so long. It's only been 4 games, so normally in a playoff 5 you tend to have around 2 hours as the total. So obviously it's gone a bit longer. I think that Dutch game went on for a while as well, went on for sort of 25 minutes.
Yeah, I guess every game was somewhat long.
But yeah, Jerimuno can't play Ottoman now, so the only civ he's won with, he's sort of done a B winner and only won with 1 civ so far. But we'll have to wait and see.
The flame is real.
I mean, B winner's on the same team as me, so I guess I can shunt him a little bit. But
he's a dirty auto-lamer still.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, High Plains. Good civ for Germany. Good civ for Ottoman if Lecastete played Ottoman, but I don't think he does. But obviously Joe has to pick first.
Yeah. I still feel like Lecastete could have won it. I mean, he just made some mistakes. Like that push with the fogs next to the frigate. Like, I mean, sure, it is a very solid auto map. I would choose auto over France anytime on this map for sure. But I still think Lecastete had a lead at some point, and he just deleted to the frigate there. It was just a very good timing for Jerimuno to get that frigate. But Lecastete might have been okay if he just pushed on top with his Falks, like get that TC and the TP and the TC down on top of the map instead of risking dying to that frigate there. Then again, I'm saying that, but you can ship the frigate anywhere. He could have shipped it in the other pawns anyway, so it's very tricky, I guess.
Yeah, and but I think the problem there is the fact that Abbas guns, they just demolish frigates, don't they? Like if you have 20 Abbas, I think they one shot a frigate or something ridiculous like that. So yeah, it's quite a sticky situation to be in, Ottoman versus chance on that map. But yeah, Jerimuno picking Spain, which is again a really really strong step on this map. ATP being, well, in my opinion, pretty broken as a card, but have to wait and see. But Lecastete can counterpick. What can you counterpick against Spain on this map? It's quite difficult.
Brits, I guess. Even on this map, well, also keep in mind that this map is always, everyone says, oh, it's so good for ATP. It's so 5 TPs is so ridiculous. And yeah, it's sort of true. But keep in mind that 5 TPs is also very hard to control. It's much harder, for example, to abuse your dog here to make sure your opponent doesn't get a TP. It's much harder because there's so many TPs you can take. So Brits, even if you go Brits, you might be able to get 1 TP. And then Brits are just so strong against Spain overall. And the same goes for Germany to some extent, even though I really like Spain much better than Germany here. But still, like let's say you have 3 or 4 TPs, maybe Germany will not be able to take any TP. But on this map, I think Germany will be able to take at least one trading post.
Yep.
And but yeah, then again, I still think this is very much Spain favored here. But Castet again going for the comfort pick, just like previous game, going for one of his main civs, even though it might not be the best choice against the opponent's civ.
But yeah, obviously I think Germany for Castet is really, really strong.
Yeah, right.
I think mechanically, I think that Castet is probably the better player out of the two. So, well, from the last couple of games, I think that shows maybe with his micro and just getting such good trades. But I think it will really depend on this. It is a coin start, which is better for Spain.
Jerimuno might be better strategically, though.
Yeah,
He
I think
kind
that's
of
the difference.
understands the game maybe better than Castet. Castet tends to make some mistakes, sometimes some big mistakes, and just lose from it. Even though he's mechanically really strong, you can micro as well as you want, like previous game. But if you're just behind the whole game anyway, it might not be enough. But
Yeah.
anyway, coin start again.
Coin
So
start,
every time pretty good for Castet, has to be said.
But Castet actually got a really, really lucky start as well. He got 40 coin and base, 30 coin and base, which allows him to go instantaneously for that market, get hunting dogs in straight away, and just sort of speed up your sort of early game here. And he's even now going to have 100 word right now.
Oh, that is big.
Doesn't
That
overgather
dog
either.
down to half HP. He attacked with the dog before the explorer, so even against just 2 coyotes, he almost lost his dog. And now the dog is gonna die in 3 shots from an explorer. So basically, it kind of negates the Spanish bonus already, because Germany is gonna have a much easier time getting the training post up now.
Yeah. Spain is going to pick up 70 coin now. And Germany being able to get a trading post up is pretty big. Jerimuno, if we look at his deck, does have ATP in there, which is, I think, probably the strongest card in the game. One of the strongest cards in the game. It's pretty insane.
It's situationally very strong. Jerimuno could have gone for market, by the way. With the gold he had in base, he could have just built a market and just bought for a house. And then with the 50 wood treasure and the 70 gold he's got, he would very easily get hunting dogs for free. But instead of that, he just left 100 gold on the ground, and kind of unfortunate for him.
Castet actually
While Castet has the market.
Yeah. Castet walking past this settler treasure, which I think he could have gone for. Maybe. Obviously, you're quite worried about the Spanish explorer having those dogs.
The dog, and it's just next to the Spanish base, so yeah.
Pablo the dog there, but Castet does find doesn't actually find any other treasures. If we look at what he's picked up so far, he did pick up 30 coin, 50, 40 coin, 60 XP. Actually, 60 XP for Germany is really nice.
Yeah, he's got his set of wagons a little bit early. And 60 food is nice for Spain, though. Spain has a really nice age 1 so far.
Yeah, and even 30 food now coming in.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he wants to go for ATP now, he's not gonna really have the XP for it. Maybe. Wait.
Yeah, he does. He just has it now. He just he needs. Yeah, there you go. He just got it right now. So he's just gonna send ATP straight away.
I'm so confused about what happened right now.
he just sent
like it. Did he have a shipment before the shipment?
No.
So
if you hover underneath the flag, it tells you how much experience they need for the next shipment. So Germany needs 224 for shipment 3.
I just saw something, but I think it might have been just a bug. But I saw basically him having a shipment, like showing the one saying he's got a shipment before the XP bar was completed. So it was kind of weird, but it was probably just a graphic bug or something.
Yeah, he's gonna get the trading post all the way at the top. I still think these trading posts should have an attack removed. It's pretty ridiculous, the shipment.
I think the problem is just that this card gets stronger the more TPs you have, so it's very hard to balance it. Because if you remove the attack of it, then ATP will only be viable on 4 or 5 TP maps.
Yeah.
So right now it's kind of balanced for 3 or 4 TPs, but maybe too strong on 5.
Well, especially seeing as this map is in effect was it 1, 2, 3, 4, a 9 TP map, right? When you add together the Cheyenne settlements and whatever, because they do give 0.8 experience a second. So I think for ATP, it's probably worthwhile getting to that TP post as well.
But still, I mean, Jerimuno has only one TP up right now. The others are being built. He does not get this XP. So, in fact, Jerimuno does not have a shipment ready. And what did I want to say? Yeah, he sent one veil all the way on top of the map and one veil here as well. Kind of weird to send the veils there. Usually you send them the closest to your own base, and then you use your explorer to build the other TPs. Because now he's got so much walking time going all that way up there, so he's gonna age up a little bit late. That's my point.
Okay.
Also, chopping for 4 TPs is a bit greedy. Usually you go for 3 and just use your dog to deny the last TP and build it later, maybe. But so he's gonna age kind of late. That's my point. So Lecastete is gonna have some time to do whatever he wants to do. And Germany can still, FF and get some scary massive units going.
Yeah, which I think Castete's going to do. But obviously, I think on a normal map, Spain sort of perishes to Germany quite hard, which obviously isn't great. But yeah, 80 wood now going to be picked up by Germany, which is quite strong. But again, where's he going to use that 80 wood? He's not really going to use it in any particular area.
He's going to use it later. I mean, he's anyway going to get 700 wood now, and then later he will need wood anyway for houses and veteran Uland and stuff like that. So it will come into play in 2 or 3 minutes maybe. So yeah, it's not super impactful right now. Like a food treasure or something would have been better, but still, it's for free. He did pick up the Spanish explorer as well with his Ulands, and now trying to harass a little bit. Did Jerimuno age up with the 500 food actually? I guess he must have, because I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, the philosopher prince there, which is 500 food coats, which is I don't know which one's better. I think the tower's probably better, but seeing as you're being somewhat defensive on this, right, as Jerry.
The thing is, he picked up so much gold in Age 1 that he would have too much gold. Like he had what, 250 gold or something from the Age 1, so it's almost what he needs to age, right? Plus 700. So I guess aging with food makes a lot of sense because it's gonna speed up his age up by a lot, as he doesn't need the gold anyway. So that way he was able to age up at a very decent time, even though he built 4 TPs. So I guess that's the reason behind it.
But yeah, as you said, he doesn't need to go for the other age up there. That explorer is still down. But training post does spot the Ulan.
He could have sat on that explorer and killed it again, but didn't pay attention. So it's gonna come back.
He's not gonna get a single villager here, I don't believe. But yeah, as you said, that explorer does get back alive, and for Germany,
still barely dying. Yeah. Then again, yeah, not having the tower means it's a little bit easier for Germany to raid with the free lands. But now that 5 rods are out, no way Germany can do anything. If anything, these rods are probably gonna be able to siege down the German TP quite soon, and Stagecoach is coming in, so Lecastete will be able to get maybe 2 or 3 max passes of that Stagecoach, and then the TP will probably go down unless he can defend it. But Jerimuno is stacking 3 shipments. He did not ship 5 bills. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, he's stacking 3 shipments, and obviously you can go for Lancers and Hussars, but you don't really want to go Lancers versus Germany because of Ulans, right? So
yeah,
I don't know what he is doing, but obviously age 3 is Germany, and is there even there is Stagecoach on that line now, but it only just came in.
And Jerimuno is going to try to pressure Lecastete, but I think wagons are going to pop in 10 seconds or something. So if anything, he might be wasting his units, but okay, he's going to pull back. My point is that I would have liked Jerimuno to just focus that TP instantly. There's nothing better for him to do with these units. But yeah, really confused about Jerimuno not using his shipments. I mean, 5 veils is a very strong card, and if you have 3 shipments, you might as well use 1 while aging for 5 veils. So it's gonna take a while until he can spend his shipments. 8 skirms first, which is gonna pay off because Jerimuno is going rods. And he's gonna try to catch everything, but he just doesn't have enough cav. Like surely Minutemen and even Warwagon's popping. So just a lot of free kills for Lecastete, looking pretty good for him now.
He's gonna get even more free kills as well. And obviously rods versus skirmishes. I mean, if rods can get into a face of skirmishes, they don't do too badly. 5 lancers now coming in. But again, there's war wagons there. There's going to be probably a batch of war wagons coming out, and he's going to be fine.
Yeah, the stagecoach advantage is sort of negated by the fact Jerimuno did not ship the vills. And if you look at the eco, he's 10 vills behind and 3 TPs ahead, which is roughly equivalent to 10 vills anyway.
Yeah.
With the if you take into account the market upgrade. So actually the eco is pretty even. But the thing we need to keep in mind is that Jerimuno virtually has an infinite amount of shipments now. I mean, he was stacking 3 shipments upon age up, and he's gonna get more shipments. So he's got 4 or maybe 5 shipments back to back upon the fortress, which means he's gonna surely be able to outmatch Germany.
3 war wagons coming in though. That's a really strong shipment at this point, along with 4 war wagons also coming in. Actually, I think if this fight goes on now, Germany almost certainly wins, right? Because lancers are pretty pathetic when they go against cavalry, and there's not a huge amount of skirms there. I think that war wagons, if you actually micro them correctly, do well against rods, right?
Kind of. You really need to micro well and to not get caught out of position. But yeah, I agree about the lancers. I mean, Vet Huss is just superior here. If you're gonna go pure Rod Cav, you might as well go Rod Huss because lancers will not really get in onto the skirms. I guess they will get onto the war wagons first.
You might get caught here, though. That's the only problem. There's a lot of Rodoleros which are going to go on the war wagons, and there's a lot of lancers with Cavalleros.
It's going to be hard to micro this. He needs to sack his Ulans onto the lancers and keep kiting as much as possible. That small cliff is actually quite nice for Lecastete. It's going to block a little bit maybe. And he's doing a good job at microing actually. This is going really well for Lecastete. And all these rods on the right side just over committing to attacking the Ulans instead of focusing the war wagons. So because there's like what, 3 lancers left and Lecastete, he's coming out on top, even though he's got a few skirms he needs to use here. They're going to join the fight, but...
Yeah. And Lecastete actually ending up with a lot of war wagons left. War wagons doing damage to anything they hit. Lancers are down. A couple of skirmishes out. And that's sort of Spain's powerful shipments out of the way. But imagine if Spain went for Spanish gold as his first shipment there.
Imagine if he shipped 5 bills. Imagine if he didn't go for Caballeros right now, which I don't understand. Imagine if he got that TP down instead of doing some useless pressure on the German base. He could have got 5 TP stagecoach. Imagine if he made skirms. There's so many things he could have done, honestly. And this Rod Cav kind of cheese didn't work out.
Yeah, well, he is going to come back out here. Rodolero is obviously, again, if they get into combat with any of the units here, do quite well. And there's not a lot of skirmishers left, and he needs to get his war wagons out. War wagons having the same speed as Rodolero's, actually.
Yeah.
But he needs to take out his lancers. That's the most important thing, because the skirmishers, when they're in hand-to-hand
combat... the trees are going to block. Sorry, I kind of cut you. But...
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be enough for Spain, I think. I mean, he might clean up, but at what cost? I don't think it's a good trade for him. Although, we're still talking about war wagons. Still talking about war wagons, so let's wait and see. Yeah. More war wagons coming, though.
If he
might be able to...
Yeah,
he just needs to pull away the war wagons, basically. And he's focusing the rods that are in contact with the war wagons with his skirms, which is nice. So he's going to be able to kite with war wagons and just get away again. And at the end of the day, we still have the same eco gap, except... Lecastete has a second TP and almost a third one because that one is barely still up. So Lecastete just putting more and more ahead and yeah.
I mean, I think Lecastete at this point can go for Jaegers or something, can't he? And just go Jaeger war wagon or something like 5 Hussars now coming in. And again, like 5 normal Hussars aren't the greatest shit in here.
Yeah, it would be better if you got that Huss and more Huss, but. Third TP going down, and
Germany's even going to take it as well. So I think he's going to take it. It's just standing.
This could be a raid.
Yeah, but I think the war wagons are going up there. He got the line of sight from that trading post. These villagers don't have what do they call them? Doesn't
They
have
don't have
great
great
coats.
codes.
But these are only normal hussars, and by the looks of it, a couple of Ulans are going to come in with cavalry combat, which will at least scare them away. I don't think Castete's going to lose too many units there, and even going to pull back the units just to. Although I think he probably wants to put a couple of war wagons across there. Yeah, war wagons are going across.
Oh, and two Ulans coming to flank, maybe able to clean up the hussars would definitely be a pretty good trade for Lecastete.
Yeah, unfortunately, war wagons are slower than hussars as a whole. He's going to pick up one more, I think, which is enough. But German,
maybe at least 2 more hussars will die, maybe 3.
But at this point, Germany's ahead on eco, they're ahead on military population. They're just in a really, really good spot here. And unfortunately for Jerry, he hasn't really got a huge follow-up here. Hasn't got Spanish Golden Deck. Obviously, he does still have ATP to his favour, but he doesn't have any units which can really take down these trading posts too easily. Rodoleros have pretty punitive siege. But yeah, I mean, cavalry combat on his war wagons, he gets Jaegers and or something, he just dominates.
Oh, and catching some skirms. And the thing is that now, because Jerimuno has not been massing skirms, he's very far behind in the skirm count. So the point is that Lecastete is basically able to go for almost only war wagons. And even though they don't do all that great against rods when they get caught, if you have like pure war wagon and he's got a mix of rods and lancers, surely you're going to be fine, especially with scav combat. Could even get the... I wonder how good it is to just get the Comanche settlement and get the speed upgrade for your war wagon so that they actually are not a useless unit anymore and they can sort of hit and run. Would be maybe a good play.
Yeah,
and the 10%. HP as well.
10% on his war wagons puts them to 6.6, which makes them faster than rods, which is really important. A lot of lancers left, but again, German are getting caught here, saying meh. Hand cavalry combat, and it isn't really a fight that Lecastete wants to take, but he is quite good at kiting as well. Wagon Zulans are going to come in now.
He's got Vils in the mix. They're going to block and tank, and oh well, maybe not so much. A bit. They're going to tank a bit against rods, and the Ulans are GG.
But yeah, there's the GG. German are deleting all those units there, and Lecastete winning 3-2 after all, which is just a good. I think probably expected outcome, right? I think most people predicted this to go through to Lecastete as a whole.
Probably,
and maybe Lecastete. I think in most of the games, Lecastete probably playing better than Jerimuno, so it's deserved. But
yeah, he did play mechanically better, I think. But then again, yeah, in that he did sort of play sloppy against Otto. I do think Jerimuno might have been strategically stronger, even though he was Otto, which means that you don't need mechanics. But he did take the right decisions, I guess.